Wake up with the sun in a steaming cup. Tune into the show where the vibes heat up. The Morning Mac got the flavor, got the glow. Start it right, let your energy flow. High takes rising like the morning brew. Fresh ideas and a laugh or two. From the first headline to your daily dose. This is the show where your spirit goes. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold. New ideas with the sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels stark. Spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Vibes grow. New ideas with a sunrise spark. Fuel for your fire when the world feels dark. We're spinning the tracks of your mental glow. Every listen's a hit on the Morning Mac Show. Oh, it's the Morning Mac, where the time don't lag. Get your inspiration packed in a casual swag. Sip it slow, feel the rhythm hit your toes. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Welcome to the place where the good vibes grow. Roll out of bed, bring your dreams alive. The Mac got the groove, keeping you in stride. No snooze, just choose to wake up bold. This is your hour, let your story unfold.
Grand rising, people. Today is a beautiful overcast day, but let's see if we can hold back the rain until the night comes. It's best when it rains at night. That's when it feels all good. And at nighttime, y'all can cuddle up with a nice hot cup of tea with a little bit of sea moss in it, to get the good stuff in your body so it could do what it needs to do, the healing properties overnight as y'all sleep. Or curl up with a good book. I hear this book by Shades of Blue by A.M. Morning is good. I don't know. I haven't read it myself, but y'all can go ahead and check it out. It's anywhere where books are sold. And to get Molly Moss, C Moss, DM Mr. Molly Moore himself or me. I could be the plug to help link you up with some good Molly Mall Sea Moss products and all that good stuff. Okay, listen, there's a lot was on my heart and my mind. I've been doing some research about something that's very dear and close to me, and it should be close to a lot of other people out there. I know it's Turn Up Tuesday. I need to turn up the heat, turn up the fire on a certain specific topic today. And everybody needs to hear this, really, because it does affect and impacts everybody' life. You may not think so, but it actually do. And I'm gonna go through it and I'm gonna, break it down a little bit. But before I get into that, let me say good morning to my super producers, Mr. Molly Mo and Big Trey. Good morning, y'all in the building. Good morning, Grand Rising. Oh, it's the time of morning because I was like reading some stuff. I was like, oh my, this can't, happen. And I hope they shoot it down. And but before I get all into that, what's going on, Molly Mall? Thank you for being here this morning.
Rising, Rick. Making sure everybody got the link.
Oh yeah, because
He'll pop back in any second. He was just saying, I don't know what happened. I think he ran to the store.
okay, because David will say he didn't get the link. He did not get the link.
Yeah, Dave ain't get the link.
Yeah, I was checking out a little bit. Our boy Rhonda Dawn, Big Ronald Hunt, his podcast, and it's interesting. We got to get Ron back on here to talk.
Yeah, he asked for the link Friday, but I ain't see it until we got off live. I said, damn, Ron, I ain't even see it. So he be hitting me. I told him next time just ask in the comments so we all can see it, because I don't be having my phone all the time. But he just had Country Wayne bodyguard on there, the dude, brown skin dude. I think he like a model too. He used to play ball. But Ron just did about an hour interview with him, just saying how he got, caught up with Country Wayne and how it is in that industry and stuff. So he be having some good people. Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown, funny. I was gonna go in there with him, but I told him nah, because that nigga ain't gonna let me talk. He don't let nobody talk. I'd rather listen anyway. He be having some nice stuff to say. But yeah, Ron, come on over, Ron. I'm gonna tag him in the show right now.
Okay, I want to say good morning to some viewers that I see on my side already in here. That big slicky boo boo in here this morning. I want to say good morning to Ricky, and I want to say morning to Reggie and my cousin Tubi. Good morning. Hey, oh, that's a nice surprise. I haven't seen her in a minute. She's holding it down out there in Oklahoma, doing her thing, helping out the elderly. And I'll be watching her and keeping up with her too. With the elderly community and everything. And that is what I actually want to talk about this big bill that they're talking about by everybody else around the world that they eye on Diddy. We need to have our eye on other bills that they're trying to pass through or stuff they're trying to include with the big bill. See, if we're not careful, we may sign off for some stuff that we really not okay with. Just that's how Clinton was able to get that 3-strike bill passed. He put all of this stuff in this legislation. Democrats supposed to be for the people, but he put that 3-strike part in there where everybody that's doing a 3-strike term got to serve 85% of their term first before they come up parole. It didn't hit it until it started hitting us. So we like, where this bill come into play? Where that coming? Where they coming? They'll slide other stuff in with some other stuff. They give you some good stuff and then they slide the BS in there too, because we're not really paying attention. We don't know. They staying up 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Congress is in session passing these bills. So we need to be up with them to find out what y'all trying to pass, what y'all trying to get over on us. And one of the things that they're doing, I don't know if the people are aware, is that Medicare, Medicaid cut. They're talking about it all across the board, but I don't think they realize how impactful that $800 billion plan or trillion. I can't even remember if the B or T, but I remember it was a lot of lettuce will impact us as a society of people. A lot of people don't know this. I know this because I was in the nursing home. B, I was also on the board, the patients council with the patients and the families. How Medicaid is so vital to senior living, so vital to the nursing home, skilled nursing homes and facilities and hospitals. And let me tell you why. Okay, there was a big influx at one point where they were closing down mental hospitals all around, or everybody was shutting them down, right? Due to budget cuts. Mental hospital, a lot of places were hit. St. Elizabeth, Morning Grove, or Spring Grove, whatever it is down in Baltimore. And instead of them putting these people in other facilities, some people got locked up. Some people, most of them was passed off to the streets. And then the other people was put in nursing homes. Well, nursing homes, I don't know if nobody know this, but it's not just for elderly people, okay? It's for anybody that's disabled or dealing with any kind of affliction, okay? Now, they're getting ready to do a big budget cut, right? It was bad enough that the staff was already short. It is already short with what we got going on now with the people they trying to take care of now. I know personally because I was inside a nursing home and dealing with my grandmother. So I know how when your staff is cut short, how people get neglected and some people even pass. Okay. Now, with this budget cut, 85% of the money comes from Medicaid. I bet y'all didn't know that. They take the patient's Medicaid. You say they get their Medicare and their Medicaid, yeah, but Medicaid covers the bulk of the bill. So if they're cutting the spending, they're not going to have the people. Where's Granny and everybody going to go that needs the skilled nursing facilities? Where are all the other sick people and the disabled people going to go when they need the nursing facilities, the nursing care, when they can't take care and do for themselves? Don't say the hospitals, because the hospitals are waiting to discharge patients to the nursing home. The hospital beds are stacked, are full, and they're waiting to free up a bed to discharge people to the nursing home where they can get around the clock care. I had one friend named Terrell. I got to check on him. I got to check on that nursing home again anyway to make sure all my friends that I made in there is still there. He was hurt up in a car accident, really, really bad, where he would need round-the-clock care. His girlfriend, Danya, that's my girl. Hey, she stepped up to the plate, her and her mother and everything, to try to get him the help that he needed around-the-clock care because he suffered a traumatic brain injury. It was a car accident right there on Baltimore Washington Parkway a few years ago, right before the pandemic. And I want to say maybe 2019. Okay. While he was inside, he had to get his Medicaid and all of that, because a lot of people lose their job when they've been in the hospital for a couple of months, couple of weeks, let alone a couple of months. Well, they said he had a traumatic brain injury. And when you lose your job, there go your insurance, and you rely heavily on Medicaid. Okay, he was in the hospital for, they can't keep you more than 28 days. They have to shift you somewhere, right? So he was waiting so he could get discharged to the nursing home. The nursing home that my grandmother was in, they took him while they were spending and still working on him to get his Medicaid to cover his room and board and all of that. I'm going through this to say that Medicaid just ain't for the old people. It's for anybody that get any type of infirmity or illness that need almost round-the-clock care, because the hospital only going to help sustain you, but for so long. Then they shift you off to the nursing homes and everything. Now, if they cutting all of these budgets, the nursing home is not a good place to go in for anybody anyway, because they're already over oversaturated with patients. You know, how can you expect one nurse and two CNAs to take care of 30 patients in an 8-hour shift, and everybody in an 8-hour shift like they're supposed to? Somebody is going to get neglected. Somebody's going to get the wrong treatment, the wrong stuff happens. Accident happens because there's a high ratio of patients to nurse. Now, they're doing this with the budget they already got. Now they're talking about going in and cutting that budget some more. That's going to mean even less nurses. So, or that's going to mean that they're going to have to close down some nursing homes, which we don't want that. Or they're going to have to discharge patients back out that really need help. I don't want that either. It trickled down. And the hospital is going to get backed up. The nursing homes are going to get backed up. All these budget cuts, people are going to lose their jobs. The CNAs, the nurses, you know, it used to be told, just like in the government, they used to say, oh, get a good government job, you be straight. They used to tell people, go on medical health care somewhere. Hey, child, go on the Medicare, go in the medical field somewhere, you be okay too. But not if they're doing budget cuts like that and they're hurting people like that. While we so busy watching Diddy and what Diddy doing, who he's slapping the oil on or whatever, and they got this man up for charges and talking about his domestic violence when he's up for charges for racketeering. While everybody's watching that, they're doing stuff like the bill, Medicare, Medicaid, and also there's talks about them changing the dependent level from 18 to 7 for the dependency on taxes. And that affects everybody with children. And even, because it trickles down. People think it don't, but your dependency, yeah. Well, you know, it's stuff like that, or stuff that we should be keeping an eye on, but nobody's looking or watching or saying anything because we're too busy keeping an eye on what's going on in Baddies, what's going on in Diddy's, what's going on in a lot of other places. I got a message came across my computer. They're about to take over. They're about to take over my computer, Marley. I got a little virus warning up here. And I
stay off them sites.
I ain't on no site.
Telling you, close out. What up, LA? What up, Chow?
But have you, you know, I'm just to catch you up. I don't know if you heard anything or seen about anything what I'm talking about in the news. Have you?
Yeah, I be seeing all the little weird stuff. I just, you know, I heard we were being camped. They always trying to push some crazy bill that just be delusional sometimes. But I think one party always set up the alley hoop for the next party. So when they be saying all these things, these kids can make decisions and people vote for that. Yeah, they got the right to be this and do that. Now they turn around saying, well, these kids got dependents then from like age 8 or 9 or something. But it's like all like what? Like you telling me I can have a 4th grader and they dependent, you know, so he can try to work. He can do what he want, but that's what we set ourselves up to. If these kids can make medical decisions like adults, they gonna now treat them like adults, and now we can't claim these kids. So that's what they trying to push. But it all started from the first party. So when people were signing off, yeah, these kids can make decisions. These kids, they can decide. We can't even give them an agenda. So now that party out, and people like, yeah, thank God that part. But now they saying, yeah, remember them kids y'all say can make decisions on their own? Yeah, we gonna make sure that they consider dependents then. Like, ain't no more of that.
7-year-old.
Yeah, for 7 years. So I don't think it's gonna pass, but
I hope it don't, because that's hard on a lot of people and everybody. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But it's America. This is America.
It is craziness. And the Medicaid thing and the insurance thing and the budget cut and all of this, that's crazy too. That's crazy. You know, I just gotta keep my head up and help out wherever I can help out, get involved with. I don't know what to do. I'm at a crossroads. Like, how do I make the situation better? We can't, right? So what do we? I can try to help make my community better. I can try to help by checking on some of the older people that's in the community, or even going to these senior places and volunteering.
We just flip this script. I'm just like, okay, if they're gonna make kids from 7 on to 18 be their own dependent, then when they go to school, they need to get paid. That's it. So if we can't claim these kids on our taxes or that, okay, that's great. Now, when my child go to school, he need to get paid every time he sign in through the week. He need to get a check at the end of the week. So that can make that up, because everybody getting money outside of the students. So it's like the students the only one that bring the funding. Without these kids, y'all get no money. That's why they always got to do a head count. That's why they trip off attendance. If these kids not showing up to school, they can lose money. So it's like, okay, so now y'all want to take money from us this way. This how we get our money back. Put these kids work. There ain't no way they can work and go to school. So it's like, pay them to go to school.
That's a good idea. It sounds crazy, but it just sounds just as much crazy as they're saying that a 7-year-old is don't need a dependent. A 7-year-old is not a dependent. So if he's not a dependent, you're right. First grade, let's start earning wages.
Yeah.
Look, that sounds crazy. So do the other things sound crazy. So pick your crazy.
Well, my father started working when he was 7. So I don't, it was different when he was growing up though. He in his 70s, about to be turning 80, but I'm just like, dang, like y'all used to work. And he's like, yeah, a lot of them used to work when they was very young back in the day. So it won't be nothing new, if they was able to work. But if y'all want our kids to go to school and no longer can work like my parents and them did when they was young, they had options, like you can go to school, you can help the family. So most times people stay back and help the family, the men and the women try to go to school. But it's still like you can do both. They make sure they find a way you do both. But it's like now they want our kids go to school and we don't claim them, even though we got to pay for their school books and clothes and stuff to get back and forth. No, we need to write all that off. That's our business. That's our company. That's our little LLC walking around. We need to write it off. When we feed them, all that. He said they trying to bring back child labor. Well, I don't know if they're going to actually work them. They just saying that you can't claim your kids from the age 7 to 18 no more. They consider dependents. So now your kid in the second on up, you can't be like, okay, I want to claim 4 or 5 kids or get somebody to claim this one. Nah, they in between that window. Can't get nothing, but they can so-called get a job and file their own taxes. But what 7-year-old, gonna be working? I don't know, but I'm saying if they do that, I think the kids should get paid to go to school. That's what I think should happen.
They would definitely be in attendance then. You getting a check at the end of the week for showing up. They're gonna show up and show out. They're going like, yes, I was present on the first day and the last day. I was collecting my check, my earnings. That's you in the crossfire. And like I said, and with the healthcare stuff, that's some real shiznit for you. But cutting out programs and cutting people EBT, snaps, and all that. And I'm like, oh gosh, like, and I don't get certain stuff anyway. But I'm thinking about all the people that I know that do, and his living is already hard. They're just trying to make it harder. Tell them to get their boot off the people's neck, child. That's what they're doing. Giving you just enough air to breathe. Tell them get the boot off my neck. Everybody don't need the Timberlane tree engraved on their neck and embroidered it, on their neck. You got a video set up. Let's see what one of the videos talking about here.
All right.
America gonna always keep you preoccupied while they make life-changing decisions. Because I couldn't give a damn less about Cassie and Diddy. But this healthcare cut, the largest healthcare cut in American history, kind of a big deal. I'm talking hospitals possibly closing, nursing homes. Your family are affected by this. But you worry about a motherfucker rubbing baby oil on different men and women. That ain't none of our business, to be honest. More power to them. We can't do nothing about that. What you gonna do? What you need to be trying to figure out is what can you do when it comes to this bill that they just passed about this healthcare, about this Medicaid, about this Medicare, about this SNAP. All I can do is say make some noise about it. I don't know what to do. I'm asking you, but you asking me. You heard about Diddy. I don't give a about Diddy. Did he do it? Did he not? I ain't losing no sleep. That lady got about $50 million. She can go buy a therapist. What you gonna do when your kids and your grandparents or your mama and them can't go get no health care? And when the hospitals close, when these nursing homes close, don't you figure we need to be trying to figure that shit out? The largest healthcare cut in American history. And I hate to keep bringing this up, but don't come to me and talk about I regret my vote. If you see me in the streets, act like you don't know me. What T.I. say? This whole thing ain't nothing but a tax scam given to the more fortunate, taken from the less fortunate. And anybody who's defending it got less of a brain than the man that's at the White House. America.
See, he was talking about them tax cut too. Grand Rising, Nicole. So okay, I see our people. Something we got 4 new views. What that I know. You probably got a whole lot more, but I'm looking.
Well, if they watching on anything else, tell them like, share, subscribe. Let us know they ain't here.
Josh, shout.
If y'all say something, say Grand Rising or TM top of the morning to the people.
I just don't like the fact they be trying to blame the people who voted for Trump. You know, it's like, why y'all blaming the people? It's just be so weird. If you voted for that person, you don't got no, like, what? Why wasn't it the same when y'all voted for the other party and they fucked the country up? Nobody was saying you voted for Joe. So it's just like, it ain't the people fault on either side, the people in office. But they get so caught up into, oh, we blame the people who put them in office. It don't matter. The other side was in office, then what? They can blame you? No, you can be like, it ain't my fault. We didn't know they was going to do that. It's the same thing with them. And these things they trying to do. And what's funny is everybody that supported Diddy was Democrats. Obama's, what's your girl? The one that he went with, Diddy was asking J-Lo. She came out there and endorsed the Democrats. Everybody that's on Diddy's so-called team, they was Democrats. So it's just like everybody came out there singing, dancing, they always with Kamala and them side, but now they all getting caught up in this Diddy shit. So it's like, I'm lost. You know, it's like, okay, the Republican Party weirdos too, but y'all saying the Diddy shit, most of the Democrats is over there. You know, ain't no party like a Diddy party. So it's like, it's all weird. I think they all just playing good cop, bad cop. I'm telling you, they good at it though. What up, Will?
I don't care who's the president, because the president is not throwing this up. Congress is. So you got the Republicans and the Democrats agreeing on passing simple shit like this to hurt the people. So it ain't one side. They doing this stuff together. Mm-hmm. They making them mistakes.
Exactly.
You know, they doing the healthcare cuts and all of that. They doing that together because they have to agree. They got to have so many votes to pass it. So if so many people are against it, how do this stuff get passed?
Because all of them are Republicans now. Everybody in the Democrat Party done lost their seats. They done fucked up so much. The whole house is Republican. So anything that they want passed, they gonna pass it for each other. At least they can say that, you know. But we know where it come down from. They just been there as puppets to get the blame. So they gonna blame Trump. Then they gonna Trump team, they gonna get blamed, and then the people who voted for Republicans, they gonna get blamed. It just trickled all the way down, but we never know who actually made the call.
And you never will until they step out of the shadows. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just it's really terrible. But if we stop going along with their program and we start going left instead of going always the right, then what will happen with their program? We say, no, we're not going to settle for that. No, we're not going to go for that. No, you're not going to cut the education budget. You're not going to cut the Medicare, Medicaid budget. You're not going to cut this. Cut some of this Star Wars stuff. Cut some of this satellites, these astronauts going up into space, space exploration. Cut some of that budget. Take from that, or take away from the war defense. But they keep
print more money. It's print more money. It's like if you need 5 gallons to make something, and you got 2 gallons, and you got a whole fountain over there, just get out 3 more gallons to make it 5. They act like we really can run out of money. I'm looking at all these trees around here getting chopped down and planted every goddamn day, and they just be fooling people. We low on money. We in bankrupt. We don't know what. Like, shut up. Like, you can print as much money as you want. You know, it ain't backed by no gold no more, so it's just fake. You know, so they can print. They can put numbers in the system and just change something. You put $1,000 in your account right now over your phone, they just changing the number. But in our head, we really went to the bank and just put money in it. You know, it's just like we don't understand. It's just numbers, and they can change the numbers at any time. But they choose not to. They only gonna give you enough to survive and keep needing them for more. But if they give us too much and we don't need them, then we'll find other ways to live without them. So I get why they do what they do. It's just I don't get why we allowed it to constantly happen every 4 years. You know, no matter who in office. It never changes for us. How many presidents we done had so far? And the ones that tried to change something for us, they even got killed, or they almost got killed. You know, something happened to them. You know, so it's like we know what's real out here. It's just like we not distracted. I'm with LA. How we can't know about Diddy and know about what's going on in politics? They always try to say you blind by something. Y'all blind watching them NBA games. Like I watch the NBA games and I watch all that shit. You know, it's crazy how you can know all these different genres of music and all these different genres of movies and TV shows. But for some reason, when it comes to learning news and what's going on in the world, they only focus on one thing at a time. Nah, we see it all because y'all pushing it. And I know people see it because Trump in office. This the one time people saying focus onto what's going on, what bills being passed. Maybe a few years ago we didn't, but now that Trump in office, everything he do, we looking at it.
They should have been looking at when Biden was in there because he was passing some messed up stuff too. And the president before that, all of it was passing messed up stuff. Just like I told you, went back to Clinton when he was passing certain bills. We didn't pay attention to it after it was passed. Up too late. You didn't say nothing when it was coming. And then a lot of people had to go back. With the first time I finished 85% of their jail time, you know, where people used to be let out on probation. There's so many incarcerations and people who didn't do it. It was just a mess. But nobody said nothing. They were just like, okay. And then the next administration came in, took over. That already inherited with bad decisions that was already on the books. They just inherited to the next administration. The next administration, like I said, the president can't do nothing without the backing of Congress. And it's Congress, the people that we vote in Congress, that's making these decisions for us on your behalf and all of that. That's why the roll-off votes will be so important. But don't nobody see that. Don't nobody care about that. They should, because is that your congressman or your senator in this speaker for you? Didn't you put that person in there? Oh, you didn't? Oh. You know, and that's where the laws and stuff is coming from them people. That's why they're in concession all night long. The House is in to 2 or 3 in the morning passing these after dark bills. You know.
Man, that's that. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a position, you know, and if I for some reason was, I just try to do good by as many people as possible. But like they gotta really control billions of people. You know, they gotta know what we doing. For some reason, they got us in control. They just give us things that we like. But a lot of people like, I was born to play ball. No, the fuck you wasn't. Basketball was created. Like they really got people thinking they was born to do some of these athletic things when none of these things change the world. So it's like, nah, like we should be out here inventing all type of things. Like there's a lot of billionaires out here that can actually invest their money other than building rockets and do other things, you know. So they purposely do it. They purposely make sure a certain percentage stay wealthy. That's why they keep the rich rich and the poor poor. Because if the poor get rich, what happens to the rich now? They get poor, you know. So it's just like, nah, they don't like that, you know, because they not gonna actually be out here like the rest of us. They can't survive an everyday lifestyle like we can. They can't go with eggs being high, the grocery stores and stuff that's going on. They probably don't even eat food like we eat food that's being sprayed down and all types of stuff. I really believe that. I really believe they eat different. I know y'all hear about these tunnels and underground, all type of railroads and shit they got for the elites. People don't believe it, you know, but I really be into that stuff. I really be studying and watching the blueprints. Like, why would they have blueprints and all that? Like, who would waste their time writing 1,000 pages on something that don't exist? Like, yes, that shit do exist, and they live in a different lifestyle. And if we was in their position, we probably do it too. I really be believing that. I mean, like, because at the end of the day, if you let too many people in, you give everybody too much, then it's just like nobody have nothing to work for out here. Like, most people probably be lazy. We probably won't have nobody inventing electric cars or anything out here because everybody like, for what? Which might be a better thing. I don't know. If we just lived off the land, life might be better. I'm really not sure, but it just seemed like everything that come from the past, we can't rebuild. They got pyramids and things like that. If you read up on stories about pyramids everywhere in the world, they wasn't even around each other, but somehow they built the same structure. So it's like, what was making these people build these type of structure shapes, buildings and shit? And all of them had the same answer. It was to get them out of this matrix, this reality. They can go from one place to the other. It was like portals. It was energy grids and shit like that. They ain't had to have all these plugins like we had. They had things wireless, but to us, it just seemed like, nah, back then, they ain't had the things that we had. Like, nah, they done dumbed us down. I think that everybody was too sharp. I think everybody was able to just pull electric straight from the air. I think everybody had access to water. You ain't had to actually pay a water bill. You ain't had to pay electric bill. If you look up Nikola Tesla, his whole thing was to give the world free energy. And then when he found a way to do it, something happened to him. You know, and then they come out later on with a car called Tesla. Like, why is it called Tesla? It's an electric car at that. You know, I thought it was giving homage to Tesla. And nah, that's a shot at him. He been made the electric car. Electric cars been out since the 1800s, you know, but they won't tell us that. They making us seem like this a new thing. Like, nah, this ain't nothing new. They just ready for us to use it now. Back then, they was on oil. They was making too much money for gas and things like that, so they shut it down. But now that they see it's beneficial, not for money, but mostly for control, they can shut us down. If you owe tickets, anything, if the police get behind you, can't outrun the police in an electric car because the sirens automatically pull your car over. So now they starting to see, and they can track us, the benefits from having electric cars. Back then,
they said the sirens will automatically pull the car over.
Yeah, they automatically pull your car over if you're an electric car.
See, I didn't know that about electric car. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, and they can update it anytime. They can hack your car. You go watch that movie Chucky with the little doll, the newer one. He was hacking in people's cars. He was making them crash in their electric cars and stuff. So you can really do that. You can hack in all type of, like your laptop. If it's a device, they can be hacked into.
Wow.
Wow, it's all the game.
It is all the game, Slick.
Yo, Bad Boys Record. Who the hell is this?
Wow. Woo.
Wow, it's all the nigga funny, man.
They was
I just
saying
sent you a message, man.
They were saying the Kia that the people was hacking into that.
What's up, David?
With their phone. Was that
Ain't nothing.
Grand Rising, David? Grand Rising. Was that a true? Was people really hacking into people's cars with their cell phone?
Nah, they weren't hacking. They was breaking in them with their cell phone charger. Like, all you need is the USB cord from your iPhone or Android and you can break into the kids. That's why they call it the kid boys and all that. You had that car, it was easy to take, and people showing you how to do it on TikTok, step by step. And these kids seen it and they was doing it and it was working. So I like, man, it's crazy the access these kids
Do it yourself Prime. How about that?
Yeah.
DIY crime. Ain't that something? They would tell you how to be a criminal, bit by bit, hack by hack. But they show everything else. I guess everything is out there. And, you know, that's technology. We can share everything with the other everything. Yeah. So that was my tangent this morning about the Medicare, and the dependents. To say a 7-year-old is not a dependent child anymore. They done took the age from 18, dropped it all the way down to 7. And that just blows me. But Molly had, for those of you who just tuning in, Molly thought of a great way that we could get that rectified. Pay the children to go to school. Since your 7-year-old can be deemed as not a dependent but independent, then pay him for those 8 hours that he's forced by law to go to school. You know, they're paid like we clock in, them kids clock in too. You know, that's what the truancy is all about. The education system is just, I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's ways to flip it. I'm saying I'm letting my child, if he's 9, he applying for stamps. If he can't get your job, hey, I'm gonna go ahead. You apply for your own shit. You fuck talking about, like, why not? He should apply for his own stamps and everything and get it. So it's like, I don't know how they think this gonna pass, and we ain't gonna find a way around it. Trade service must be going on.
See, they cutting stamps, but they getting ready to get a whole new generation of stamp recipients. How old was you when you first got your stamp, little Eli? I was 7.5. When they took me off my mom's insurance, said I can't get on insurance no more, I needed Medicaid. I needed help. I need to continue to keep getting my shots and my boosters. I needed, you know, so I had to apply for food stamps and Medicaid.
All you gotta do is write a letter and sign. But they gotta write a letter and sign to say that their stamps is just for them, and different things like that. Can't share your stamps and all that mess.
But you living in the same household. That's because the 7-year-old can't. The 7-year-old don't have credit. A 7-year-old can't get a job. A 7-year-old can't hardly even ride a bike, let alone spell their name, balance a checkbook. How they gonna pay their rent? Who's gonna rent to a 7-year-old? Who going all of that?
Yeah,
clothes. Where they gonna go and steal in the, you know?
So, hey, what's up, Josh? What's up, Slicky Woo?
It sounds preposterous, but
if he get paid to go to school, he can buy his own.
That's if they do it. They got their right to do something.
They gotta do it, or my man dropping out.
No, Eli, he already dropped out. Shoot, they already took him out of school because you too old to go to school now. You know, you're not a child no more. 7 years old, like that video we saw last week with that little girl was like, "Oh, mama, I don't want no surgery. It's my body. I can do what I want."
Yeah,
I want to say you can get a whole lot to say. You're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna feed, clothe yourself, how to take care of you. I mean,
nah, I ain't gotta do that. Cause basically, it's people still raise their kids. It's just you can't claim them at the end of the year. That's the only difference, you know. So it's like you can't get some of that money back if you used to get some. You know, depending on how old it is, you get more. So that's really it. I don't think kids gonna be out here not taken care of. Parents just gonna be mad that they can't claim them at the end of the year. Like, what the hell? That's be the claim, but that's why I encourage everybody to start a company in your own name. You just make your company your name, and everything you buy, everything, write it off. If that's the game they playing, that's all they doing is playing the game. I seen Slicky put that, and we got to learn how to adjust and play the game with them. So if that's what they're going to do, that's another way to claim your kid. You can hire them as an employee under your own company. you
Yeah.
know, and get all that back. Every time you want to buy them something, write them off something, a check or something.
And
Put it
according
on
to our
payroll.
friend Malik Bay, you know what he always say? Our social security number is our stock number, that we are our own LLC. He always said that, didn't
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. I might be wrong. You know, Josh probably like, oh no, here he goes with his theories and stuff and all. But I wonder if, because you know, when you retire and everything, you know, when they pay you your Social Security, I wonder if they're paying you through the amount that you're supposed to get out your Social Security.
you know they not.
They can if they wanted to, but
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying the exact amount. I'm saying whatever they get
taken from that.
or they
Yeah.
taken from what they supposed to be giving you from your Social Security. Because you know how you hear Malik Bay and different ones on TikTok talking about we have a secret account or something like that and all, and the numbers are basically our Social Security number, and because I was sitting there because after hearing that and then listening to the other people and all, I'm like, you know, maybe that's why it's called Social Security.
Social.
That's what it says.
Pay into it. You put in, and your employer is supposed to put in. Do you know if your employer don't put in the right amount for you, that they could get penalized and fined? You got to pay taxes, and your employer pay taxes on you. So money.
But what if that is a cover up?
Of course it is, because what about all those people who worked and died before they could pull their Social Security? Where their money go? It don't go to the family. It goes into this big pool. And what they do when they send you your thing, that's how come you can know how many credits you got. You got to work so many years and put so much into the till, right? I think it's like 40 credits, maybe 40, 50 credits. Anyway, you got to meet this criteria in order to pull your Social Security, or you get SSI. Those are the Social Security insurance. That's a set amount all across the board for people who didn't have enough before they started pulling their Social Security, or they didn't work enough. You know how some people say, "Oh, you didn't work enough to get your full retirement, but you get this." In other words, now
I understand that. What I'm trying to say is, what if it's all? Because I mean,
but let me finish. It might answer your question. So what they do when they gather it, like they put your money to the side. Like say, David, you under the $150,000 of Social Security that they took from you and that your employee put in towards you. Let's just say 150 ballpark, right? Right. And then they will multiply, take your age and divide it by how many years they expect you to live. Like say if you're 40, they say, oh, he probably lived till he's 65. So they take that and then they divide it, and so you could get a roundabout number of how much that your monthly annuities is supposed to be. You know how people say it depends on how much you work or how much you put in. Yeah, that's that part. That's true too. Or the more you work, the more taxes they put out, the bigger the tax that they take a chunk that they take out of you. But they also is adding in your age and your life expectancy and all of that. Now, if you just happen to go before you get to tap into anything, where that money go back to? They go back in that pool, and there's trillions and trillions of dollars. They always been in there, and no, they're not fair. And I don't know if that's the right amount, because when you do my taxes at the end of the year, I think I should have more in there. What's in there for me? And how they try to give it out like it's your allowance. Here, it's your allowance, David. You allow this?
Yeah,
that's not. Hey, what's up, Chow? No.
That ain't what funny man saying though.
You didn't answer my question. That's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, I don't know if you see. I'm pretty sure Molly see the videos, but they talk about how
saying it. Malik told us about it.
Right. Yeah. They're talking about because I learned before Malik. I learned from what's his name Yakim or something like that. No, he was saying
about the citizen man or straw man.
How he found out.
Yeah, the straw man.
That he had a secret. He had a couple secret accounts with millions of dollars in it. and how he was able to open it, he came to find out was with his social security number. That like we have routing numbers and everything like that. No, the routing number, whatever, now is supposed to be the social security number. So if we all have secret accounts of millions of dollars or whatever, and our social security number is the routing number or whatever now to get into that account, but we're too blind or whatever like that to I ain't gonna say dumb, but what I mean, just lack of knowledge. We don't know anything about that or whatever.
We just
are they paying us social security with the money that we was already supposed to get out the millions wherever and all from the social security? That's what my and like I said, I was like, why is it called social security? Oh, what if, like I said, I watch a lot of videos and, I know Josh be like, oh, here he goes with his theories and stuff like that. No, but in a way, it kind of makes sense. And then you're talking about, no, it's because of the work or whatever like that. See, that's the thing. If somebody had millions of dollars or whatever like that, no, they ain't going to, I ain't gonna say they ain't going to work, but they ain't going to do the slave and everything, working and everything they're doing now. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why they say, you're gonna have to be a slave for so and so many years or whatever like that to us, whatever. No, then we'll give you what you already supposed to be having.
Godfrey got a good. You're right, David. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but that's worth looking into, digging further. I know he was telling us about our straw man and everything, and I wonder I want to know. You got to be become a sovereign citizen, and there's a lot of steps, and it takes years for you to get there. So people don't think you're gonna sign up and then you're gonna get it overnight or the next couple of years. It don't work like that. It's a process, and they have a long, lengthy process because they know a lot of people ain't gonna be able to wait that long, lengthy process time. It's just like when you apply for disability, they turn you down 3 times off the cuff automatically because when people meet the path of resistance, they're gonna go somewhere else. I'm like, oh, let me figure out another way to do this or another way, to do that. But you got to keep trying and digging.
Yeah.
And what I said about Godfrey.
Chow said, "Is there proof of anybody that have done that?" Yeah, there's proof. I just told you that Kim dude or whatever like that. And he said they were shocked that he even knew about it.
And Malik told us about
Malik
that.
one of them. He actually one of them. He claimed his social security, got his money, got land, did the same thing for his kids. Take years to do though, and only bad thing, I wouldn't say bad thing, is just like you ain't really protected. Like you ain't calling the police saying help me and da. You ain't a citizen. You on your own. You live off the land.
Godfrey got a video that he talks about. Oh, did I send that in? I don't know if I saw that. Send that in the chat.
That's the next video right here.
Okay, let's take a look. Oh, this is interesting as well. As much as I complained about toothache and a couple of years ago with Molly had a toothache, I couldn't even get no dental work done, and I had to pay out of pocket for my root canal on it. It was a horrible instance with the teeth, and I think I still got another tooth that's bad in my head that need to come out because I'm getting headaches again. But that's how it always starts. Let's check this video out and tell me if y'all get what this person is saying.
So y'all know I'm transgender, right? I've had a double mastectomy, hysterectomy, and 4 separate surgeries in my bottom area to create a penis. All of this shit covered by insurance. 0 out of pocket for me. When I look at the medical bills, they're damn near almost touching $1 million. Crazy, right? So let me tell you what's fucked up about our health insurance system. I go in the other day to get a root canal. For them to tell me my insurance won't cover my root canal. I gotta pay $1,500 out of pocket for a root canal. Can somebody please make this shit make sense? Don't get me wrong. I'm thankful that they did cover everything related to my transition. But y'all won't cover a damn tooth? So what, my tooth gotta be transgender or some shit? So y'all know.
That I look at that, and the basic things like the eye they don't cover, and certain insurance only cover certain part of the eye and dental care. Why? And they will cover all this other stuff, all of this, what they call a cosmetic surgery or whatever surgery, but they won't cover. To me, your teeth are important because your teeth can poison your whole body. Your eyes are important. It's an important part of your nervous system, the central nervous system, the eyesight. But they won't cover fully glasses, and they won't cover you getting dental work done. I thought all of that was part of your health. But to have elective surgeries, then that's you choosing to do something, or you choosing to have something done. I did not choose to have a toothache. It's just the wear and tear of the body. So basic stuff that we need to get covered isn't covered. But this catastrophic out-of-pocket expenditure on this other stuff, the elective surgery that you choose to do, would be covered under insurance.
Yeah, but he needs to be grateful or whatever. You know what I mean? They paid.
That's not his point.
They paid $1 million. They paid $1 million weapon off for the upper surgery. He better take just take that $1,500 for that tooth or whatever,
and shove it up whatever you got created.
Yeah. If they cover the tooth and don't cover the other shit, then what? You
I want them to cover the tooth. So your choice is your choice. Okay, that's your choice. But stuff, certain stuff.
Health insurance don't cover everything. Like they got different types of insurance plans. So I never seen an insurance plan say this covers any and everything. And if it does, that's gonna cost you a lot more money. But most people go with a plan that fit their budget. And then you start getting things done that actually you need to be work on right there that's covered. And then you start going to other things like me. I was covered till I went to the dentist. The mother said, we don't cover that. We can do a cleaning for free. I said, no, I need my tooth. I had to come out of pocket. You know, but I ain't tripped because they covered a lot of other shit that I ain't had to come out of pocket for. You know, so it's like y'all want these people to pay for everything, and for them to come out $1 million, and he mad that they won't cover his tooth. It's like, damn, at least that's one thing they don't cover, but they covered your whole body. For you get a trend, that's just some people just not great. They don't appreciate nothing. They want people to take care of them about every little thing. I want you to take care of my tooth. You already took care of my penis, and you got me a new dick and balls and all that. You didn't take care of my tooth. And if they ain't take care of nothing, I'd be like, okay, he got insurance and they not take care of nothing. Or if he ain't tell us about the surgery and just say I went to the dentist and I wasn't covered, I had to come out of pocket, I'd be like, damn, yeah, that's messed up because you paying insurance. But you let me know that your health insurance that you paying for just don't cover that. But it covered every goddamn thing else. Up to $1 million. You ain't even make that type of money.
I could be wrong, but I don't think it should cover elective surgeries like that. I do not think it, because to me, that's extra out of the pocket. That's you fashioning yourself the way you want to be. What designer people, just like they do designer babies, they don't, health insurance, I don't think should cover designer stuff. That's just me personally. I don't, and having elective.
If you get insurance that covers that, then that's good. He probably got insurance that covers that, so he ain't got to come out of pocket $1 million. But you can't be expecting that insurance to cover everything. So it's like if you want something to cover your dental, I'm pretty sure they got insurance out here that cover dental. That whenever you go, you don't have to pay. I ain't got to pay out of pocket when my daughter go to the dentist. She covered. So it's just like certain things, people just be acting like everything. That's like having liability for car insurance. And you like, they ain't get all my cars. Like, no, you got liability. You just supposed to take care of the other person's car. Now you can get full coverage and that cover you and other person, but people can't have liability and expect to get full coverage. And that's why I look at with him. He got liability and health insurance, which still covers him on some things, but at the end of the day, you don't have full coverage. I mean, your whole body ain't covered by. If that's the case, go get some dental insurance. So when you do come across some more dental problems, you'll be covered. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
because insurance, you right, don't cover everything. Like you say, your daughter's covered, except for if she has to go out to see an orthodontist. Most insurance won't cover braces because they know it costs so much, and if they do, they still leave a portion or a percentage for the family to pick up. Same way with my root canal, they cover the cleaning, like you said, but for the extractions, the simple extraction is covered, but if you needed an implant or other dental work, it's not covered 100%. I still had to come out of pocket with a great deal of that. And it depends on the split that you got with the insurance, whether it's 80, 20, 70, 30, they still can add up to be a lot. Add up to be a lot.
You gotta take care of yourself.
That's where it matters at.
Yeah.
Shit falling apart. You can't scramble for insurance then. You gotta take care of the car when you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or get that. What's that extended warranty insurance that they have on your car now? That is more than the car note. I called to look into that extended warranty. I was like, whoa, that's more than my car note. If I'm paying $5 for my car, then I gotta pay $7 for the extended warranty. That's crazy.
But everything meets an endpoint.
Yeah, everything. And TVs, all that. They say, you want insurance? No.
Mm-mm.
Laptop, got a laptop. You want to get insurance? No. Joint broke, shit. Should have got insurance. So it's like, nah, it's up to us. On my cameras, yeah, I got insurance. Fucking $5,000. If that joint break, I can't just come out of pocket for that. So yeah, I pay insurance on that stuff. So certain things I'm willing to pay insurance on, and some things I'm not. But I see people out here paying $1,000 to get weaves, and they paying $500-$600 for Balenciaga shoes and all that. Then when it comes to their health, they get cheap. Like, fuck that. I ain't care how much it costs to get my teeth fixed. That shit hurt so bad. I give them everything. Like, I give you everything. I can get money back, but this pain need to go. But people, they just be on the ulterior. Like, how you don't care about your teeth more than your fit. You ain't going out here getting swag insurance in case shit go wrong. I need to be able to walk in any Foot Locker and say, look, I got insurance. I need every Jordan in here. No, you gonna buy that shit. If your shoes enough, you gonna buy it. If not, you get house insurance in case your house catch on fire. If you don't got house insurance, what happens? People know what happened out there in Cali with that fire court. People ain't have insurance.
They lost everything.
They lost the insurance, so we know how insurance works. So it just be crazy that people want to get covered for insurance that don't cover that thing. That's just so weird to me.
Yep.
It is weird. Look, I'm always talking about insurance and all that stuff and the medical, all that stuff, what they're doing and stuff. Is because I'm a sufferer, a brunt sufferer. My insurance covers a lot of my stuff that I need to get done. I'm on that 80-20 split where I still have to come up with 20%, but 20% is a lot, especially when you got $13,000, $15,000, $20,000 in hospital bills. That 20% is a lot, and it's still a lot, more than what I can afford on a regular. I can't afford $13,000 a bill on a regular to pay 20% of whatever they say that is on a regular each month. But I do what I can do. I try to do what I can do. And that's it. We got another video turned up. Did anybody got anything to say about the video that we just saw about with the guy? Anybody in the audience or?
No, not for me. No.
I just thought it was funny. He said, "What, my tooth got to be transgender?"
You mean to tell me you get your pussy changed to a dick and I can't get covered?
I can't get some dental work.
That's all I heard from this. That's all I heard from this.
And all I heard was you telling me you give me $1 million, now I can't get 1,500. Yeah,
that was crazy as shit because you wanted to be, you wanted to switch it up.
Hey, Titus. Hey, okay.
Let me see what's next. Shit thing forever.
Just some wild stuff, boy. I tell you.
Yeah, that's
Shit,
Wow.
ungrateful ass. LA say ungrateful.
yeah, that's 100% ungrateful. That is crazy.
I thought it was gonna be something else. I mean, I well, that was a real dude at first too. If she ain't
I did
say
too.
that, yeah, she
That's
shit
how I be
like one
nowadays.
of the homies.
Cyrus Mills said, "Love this." Thank you. I guess they saying they love the comment. Y'all see that?
I was reading the comments, LA. Them motherfuckers said the same thing you said. He said he got everything changed but the batteries in that smoke detector.
Right.
I was laughing like shit. Everybody's talking about the smoke detector. Nah, but you had some on this side like, yeah, America ain't shit. Da, 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 da.
But America helped you out a whole lot. You did all of that. I'm saying against. I'm like, Shorts, don't cover that. Cover your cover your teeth. So, hey, I get my dinner work done, but you want to transition, I can't help you
What's
with
up,
that.
bro?
Sorry.
Yeah, health insurance is good. You know, it's a scam. You know, but
Speaking of
yeah,
scam, oh my gosh, did y'all hear the news story where they're scamming people about purchasing and buying cows? And it was in another country. I can't think of the country name, but they were investing in the commodities of cows, and it's a scam. They tell you, oh yeah, you buying into this stock, and this the Dow has dropped and all this, and we got to sell off all the cows. That was just a scam because the lady never owned no cow. She thought that she was buying she's going to open up a farm and she's buying all this cattle, livestock. It is, and come to find out they scamming the people. I'll get the place. It's over there in the UK somewhere, and I was like, wow, scammers is all across the world. The lady said that she boarded a plane and she wanted to go to where she bought all these cows. She said that they wouldn't let her into the plant, and she's looking, or they wouldn't let her on the farm, and she's looking, and these cows had these ear tags. So they gave out a big transcript of all of these cows that they had to sell. She said when she's looking through her binoculars, she's trying to do recon. She said it wasn't not now tag or unit or serial numbers that matched with anything on that list. They claimed they had to sell out all this the company, and people had to close the company down. There was never a company. They was scamming people out of their money. It was somewhere over there in the UK.
shit, they probably everywhere. You know, they got her online. They just
Yeah.
say they bouncing everywhere. We in the UK, we over here, but ain't no different than you buying that bra. You know,
Why you go there?
it's just she did it at a high scale. Somebody selling cows. I think they was like for $1,000. She baited on it, but normally cows be 3,000 or more. But if you see something for a
That
thousand, she like shit. Let me buy these joints up.
she
And
was
they say go ahead,
investing.
buy them up. And it wasn't nothing really to buy. So
She
they
liked to
got her.
invest her
You gotta
money.
really
Yes,
look
they
into
did.
things before you just rush out there. I'm like, man, if I was a scammer, I'd be super rich right now because everybody out here just so gullible. They just
Gullible.
so
Yeah.
easy. It'd be like I'm just not a bad person, but they just so easy. Should be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even on the sites like Temu, Sheen, and Amazon, and all of that deals with third party buyers. We don't know who the third party the third party is. They get
Morning.
product. Like I thought I was getting a mixer on sale for $38, and all I got was a bowl. That was
Check the private chat, Molly.
I
like
Oh,
see.
okay. Never mind.
so. It was crazy.
Hmm.
They scamming, scheming people every place. Just like that movie, The Beekeeper. Just like The Beekeeper. That
That's a
was
good
true.
movie.
Yeah, and that's sad. And that is true. People have lost their shirts. But we got another video set up. Let's see what this is.
See what this one is. About to send you the link, Rob.
Shit.
What's up, AQ?
I see you.
Provision in this bill that is rooted in cruelty, not policy. This simple, straightforward amendment would strike the work requirement provision in this big, bad, ugly bill that lowers the age of what we call a dependent child from 18 to 7, from 18 years old to 7 years old. So I'm abundantly clear, we're saying that 8, 9, and 10-year-olds are no longer considered dependent children. Where did this come from? Why is this necessary? Since when is a first grader not a dependent child? Preventing families with children as young as 7 from losing food assistance, that is what we're debating here. This amendment.
And she was, they was at a town hall meeting, or maybe on the floor of the Senate. Do we need to go up there? Do we got to stand on the floor so they can hear what we're saying? If so, then that's that's what we have to do. Because all of those rich Congress people and the senators, their children go to private school. They don't have to worry about health care because all of their needs are met and is covered. It's the hardworking, everyday Joe, the blue collar people, the people that really the mover and the shakers that really make stuff happen and make it sustainable so the big elites can have what they have.
Damn, 6 homicides. I didn't even know about that.
Mm-hmm. I
Damn.
think 11 over the week.
God damn.
Well, yesterday?
Yeah. Well, yesterday was like 6 or 7 people.
Yeah. In our area, I did see that too. But back to that video. What do y'all think about that video? What she's saying? She went to the floor to plead her case.
And they told me, you gonna do that, Reese?
Go on the floor. If I look, I was going up there to help write Congress, and we were sending letters to all the senators and stuff. I think I still got copies of the letter on my computer when I was with the family council. Yes, I was. Yes, we was. Everybody was. Yes, we was. If that's what it takes, we sent letters out. I sent letters to Prince George's County, our congressman, our ombudsman officer. I sent it to all our senators. That's where I got a chance to meet Anthony Brown. At the time, I was going out to the hall meetings and doing that. And that was to help to get the care that was in the skilled nursing facilities and the nurses and all that. Oh, yeah, I've been on the front line fighting a lot. So LA, yeah. Yes, I have done and will and do again. Yes, sir. That's the answer to your question. Yes.
Do it again so you can just let the senator on your House of Representation know that's their job. Yeah, that's their job. I don't know. I think they pushed it because everybody was with that dumb shit. Oh yeah, my kid can make a decision to be a boy, a girl, and they can cut their penis off at a young age. So they was letting them make grown decisions. Then it was like, oh, he can decide if he's a boy or girl. You can't even claim it. And then it got to the point they was locking parents up who didn't agree with their kids. So if your kids say, call me a boy, and they was a girl, and you kept saying, hey, son, or something, or hey, daughter, they would get you arrested. So now they're saying these kids old enough to make decisions on their own. So now they're saying, yeah, they dependent.
I don't know. Nobody who got arrested for that. I don't know. No, but that's insane.
That was in LA. I know a lot of people did. Well, I shared the videos. I don't know if you just didn't look at them. It was parents that got arrested. Hell nah, cause that shit didn't get past here. That was some LA, Cali. It was mostly happening on the West Coast, and when they was trying to spread this far, shut it down. We want to go on.
If they shut that down, we need to shut this down too.
Well, the administrator that's in this shut it down, but now they bringing this. So it's like they took away one thing. Yeah, they got rid of that, and now they like, well, we're gonna make them. Whoa, what y'all doing? So it's like that's how they do it all the time. So whatever this administration doing that we don't like, the next administration gonna make sure we gonna change that. We gonna make it better. We gonna get rid of this and get rid of. Oh yeah, that's what we want. Get rid of this. Yeah, Trump need to go. This soon they get in there. They gonna get rid of that, but they gonna bring some other shit we don't like. And we like, dang, what the hell? Well, y'all voted for it. Y'all should, well, we wanted them to get rid of this one thing. We know that's gonna add this to it. And then the next administration do the same thing. Well, we'll get rid of that. And then and they do it over and over. It just keep happening. I just don't see how people don't see the cycle after a while.
They don't see it because they can't see the bills getting passed because they added in and changed the verbiage of it. And they added in and sneak it under the whistle. They sneak it under they said something differently, and they be like, oh, okay. No, we're saying the same thing, but it was just said differently. And
Well,
then,
they really tell you, but I don't know nobody that watches Channel 3. I don't know anybody who, and I'm not a TV watcher, but when I do like to check into like Channel 3.
I ain't know.
I'm talking about the channels you skip over. I'm talking about the ones you don't want to watch. When you turn on your TV and you just get to thumbing, the joints where they sitting there in that big, huge room, and all these important people with suits on and representing their countries and stuff. Day. It's available all day.
Yeah, it'd be silent.
People don't care and look like into stuff, which is why I don't even listen to people, because they say because a lot of this information is readily available every day. Like they're literally discussing whether they're gonna pull this into effect and why they are or why they're not, or what the stipulations are under it. People don't really look.
Hell nah, you can go there yourself how that lady went. But what's crazy, I never knew the channel for that. I always just happened to be scrolling, I see it and I stop. And I seen my principal one year when I was in school, middle school. And I was like, damn, that's my principal. She's up there talking. So I started listening to her. And she was trying to get them to force us to wear uniforms. And I hated wearing uniforms in middle school. We all did. But they was trying to push it like that was the rule. But I hear them telling her that you can't enforce kids to wear uniforms. If they parents allow them to wear, that's okay. But you can't make it mandatory. I went back to school with my regular clothes on. She tried to make me put on my uniform. And I told her, nah, I ain't putting it on. I seen that on TV.
Crystal
and
clear.
I let everybody, and she stopped messing with me. She's like, it's okay. Look, I ain't going to. It's okay. I let you go because I knew, but that let me know how powerful that channel is. See, I was young. I didn't know. Now that I'm older, I'm like, shit, it's a lot of stuff that be happening on there. And if you go watch it, you'll see a lot of the things they trying to get passed within the schools and stuff. And that was sharp. But that's what I got out of that, though. I ain't wear uniform the whole rest of the year. Based off that one clip I seen.
Shit, Gwen said it was clear. She said they knew what they was going to do. And yeah, she said people did know what they was going to do. He was crystal clear in Project 25. 2025 said exactly what he was going to do. It's his blueprint.
Nah, that wasn't in the Project 2025. That's still Myanmar. That's that don't like Trump. Kamala, all them devils. They ain't nothing to do with 2025. That already came out. But they were saying some of the things he might do in 2025. So I did like that because they was predicting some of the things that the Republicans was trying to do. And they was like, look, we're going to put it out there before they actually put it into play. But most of them things ain't even true and it ain't come true yet. We still ain't getting them concentration camps. We probably did that off the first month. Everybody was pushing that. Hey, you going to put us in camps and we going to do. Like, all right, man.
I do agree with this one, though. People need to read more and quit listening to social media for knowledge. All the bills going through Congress is public information. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The boring shit, the ones you skip over in the beginning before you get the TV one and all that type of shit, Lifetime and all that shit. In the beginning, the first couple numbers, it don't matter what cable you got, but the first couple numbers, I think up to number 10, you'll see they'll be in big congressional meetings and it's live streamed. you know, and they're openly talking about, well, this population and this body of people and all of that and stipulations behind it, things might be classified. So they might say, oh, blah, 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 classified, blah, 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 classified. But, you know, a lot of that shit, a lot of information is available. They make it so available that you skip over it.
They gotta tell you before they do it.
They gotta tell you.
It's funny that people think it's different sides and they got different agendas and they not working together. One peanut butter, one jelly. That's what y'all just saying. You voting for jelly, the other one voting for peanut butter. We don't understand. They take both of them to make the sandwich.
And so then you get caught up in a jam.
It'd be funny.
He was so ready to say that shit.
Hey, what up, AQ? We got G Factor in here though, y'all.
Yeah,
I was reading her last comment.
Question mark, who I calling the double? I don't. Did somebody is it double? That's a question. I don't know. She probably was trying to ask a question.
Okay.
See, my mom used to buy me cute polo shirts with the matching polo knee socks and the polo. Yeah, I love uniforms now that I'm older because I understand how much money clothes cost. But when you're younger, you don't want to wear it. But now that I'm old, I'm like, hell yeah, the uniform.
All that money your parents would have saved on clothes and shit too, instead of LeBrons and shit.
And not only that with the uniform, but it stopped the kids from fighting each other and trying to steal each other, you know, certain types of clothes. If everything was uniform, it wouldn't make a child who didn't have feel lesser than. And you know, it got their mind off of fashion and on just supposed to be on the learning on the books.
Yeah, that's what it was for us. Cause we used to join a lot. So you came there with a uniform, you getting cooked. You know, you ain't even got no chance. So the devil is in office now, and you see all the see that's I don't believe that. The devil did.
You will see all the consequences of your actions in 20 years.
Yeah, I just like if he's the devil, then how the hell Joe Biden ain't the devil? How the hell Obama ain't the devil? How all these other presidents ain't the devil who did 10 times worse than Trump so far?
Nobody was caring.
Obama deported all these immigrants. He wasn't the devil.
Yeah.
Joe Biden killed all them chickens and millions of chickens that caused the AIDS and all this shit to go up. He wasn't the devil. They was out here locking people up for dime bags of marijuana for he wanted Bill Clinton. He did what he did. He wasn't the devil. All of them devils. That's what I'm saying. You can't just say one is the devil. They've been in office. The devil been running politics since the beginning. The devil is running the world right now. Yeah. And they using certain people and they put these TD Jakes, Kirk Franklins, all these type people, LeBron Jameses, the Diddy's, all of them in our face to become fans of them. And that's what happens. We support the wrong people who supporting the devil. It's just weird. Everybody was talking about Diddy, and he needed this. Y'all never thought of all the politics who Diddy was supporting.
That's what's up, AQ.
You know, it is weird that everybody that supported Kamala is part of Diddy claim. You know, so it's just like you gotta pay attention. They all part of a group together. There's no way that Obama should be hanging out with Diddy and partying. It just don't make sense. TD Jakes over there too. It's like you let that let us know the elites, they all won. This shit is bullshit. They working together. The devil is running it all. You can call him the devil. I just say evil. But yeah, that's what the word devil come from, evil. Good, that's what the word God comes from. It's not that much of you gotta look up. You can look at the word G-O-O-D. Oh, just take an O off, you get God. Devil, evil, just add a D to it. Like it's that easy. It's different energies though, but I think evil is in control right now. We need to get somebody actually good in office, and they probably take for all these people to die off, and for they younger kids to be better people than they are. You know?
That's what I think. It's crazy. The new pope is the first American.
Yeah, Leo. It was his time. Yeah, it's time of Aquarius. They was gonna get a Leo in there, you know, the line, and he changed his name to that. You know, that's what people don't understand. Like Martin Luther King name, not Martin Luther King. All these people name, these are character names. Tupac, all these people they giving us. They never hear their real names. The real people live different lives.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't he the first native
Yeah, he the first pope from America. Yeah, America-born pope. Yeah, and do you see when Trump posted that picture of him as the pope, like a month before the nigga became the pope? He was letting everybody know, like the pope got to be from here, America. I'm the pope. I'm representing America, the president of the company. America is just a company, and he's the president, but he don't actually own America. He's just the face. It's no different than any other company that got a president that runs the show. That them stockholders really make the call. He talking about Joe the Blow, the Pope.
Pope Joe the Blow.
Yeah, they got rid of the old Pope. So when he opened that door, he said, "Oh my God." That was it. I said, yeah, he done. This other clip won't come up.
All right. Yeah. Let's see the next video. I thought I sent the Garfield one in there. That was a good one.
No, we got sending Rodney.
Rodney, what, the link?
Yeah, I thought it went to.
Sometimes on these computers, the powers that be, whoever's controlling them. Sometimes it sends, sometimes it don't send. But Godfrey, what I thought I had sent to him, Godfrey was talking about, he was breaking it down that if everybody got reparation, they gave every person of color $1 million and like some land for reparation. Then the guy that he was talking to, he was on some talk show, whatever, the white guy, he said, oh, we couldn't do that because it would bankrupt the economy. Then Godfrey went on and said, but you could find trillions and trillions of dollars for war that haven't bankrupted the economy. He went on down the list of some other stuff. Let me, do y'all know, did y'all see Godfrey on there?
Yeah, I'm just saying Godfrey, he just be stealing shit from money. I be saying it. He be saying some nice shit, but he always say it a year later, like, we've been saying this shit. You saying everything that Dr. Oye and all everybody been talking about for years around here. So it's like,
well, what he was talking about is current.
I'm happy that he's starting to wake up, you know, but then he'd turn around and be saying something totally opposite. So I never know what Godfrey. Yeah, but what he was saying was some real shit, you know. But the guy, I know he was talking to another guy, he was saying, let's say if they don't give us land, they just gave us money. He said within a year time, all the people who that's rich now, they would end up with majority of the money again anyway. Even if they had nothing and we had all the money, we just give it back to them within a year time, and they'd be right back in control.
Billy Jackson wrote a song that said just that. He said, the white man let you make some money and you fool give it all back. That was over 30 years ago when she wrote that song. 30 years ago when she wrote that song. And I remember sitting cracking up. I was like, what is Millie talking? Older than that. Maybe 30, older than that. I was a teenager, like 13. 40 years ago. So she said that's in the song, it's called I Had to Say It. Millie Jackson did a rap song called I Had to Say It. She had a song with Houdini back then too. And she was talking about the basketball players and all that.
Is that the one that was grabbing dicks?
Yes. You know how she said I had to feel it? She had to say it. She said that 40 years ago. I had to say it. So y'all need to check that song out by Millie Jackson. Some of the lyrics, and they was writing stuff, but some of that stuff was conscious. People ain't paying no.
You said Millie Jackson?
Millie Jackson.
That was the one that was grabbing them guys up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She did it.
Can I feel it? I got to feel it. She said, "What's that?"
Right. she was in the audience doing, but that's Millie Jackson. Anybody that knows about her or had a chance to ever go to one of her concerts and live, I heard she was real raunchy. So before Cardi B was Cardi and Nicki Minaj was Minajing, Millie Jackson was Million.
No,
she did the Millie for
Millie rocking.
Millie whopping.
You know,
Millie grabbing.
Look, she had the song. I had to say it. and she's on Be Yourself with Houdini. That's her singing Be Yourself. I used to love some Billy Jackson. And then late at night, or when the grandma and them drinking and playing cards, they was playing poker and stuff. They'll throw one of her old belly rubbing songs on. Then you had to either go outside or go in the room. If it was nighttime, go in your room. Go in your room. If it was in daytime, go outside. But I was the one that was running. You need a beer out the cooler? You need you need your cigarette lit? I was the one standing around the table collecting change because while they was playing cards, they'll give me a quarter, something like that, to go get them a cold glass of ice or water, stuff like that. So I was entrepreneurship, working around the table. You want another piece of chicken? Miss Ruth, you want a roll and a piece of chicken? They're like, yeah, because they will cook the food and put it on the buffet. That was that long thing. We called it the China cabinet, but you also had a part where it was a long counter, like, and the drawers underneath. I thought what was that called? Was it called a buffet? But anyway, they would set the food and stuff up there, and while they playing cards, they didn't want to get up from the table. So they had you know, that's why I stayed in the house. Everybody else was doing kid stuff. I was doing grown stuff. I had making some change and going around and listening to the conversation, and you was allowed in the room then, and you handed them they drink and they beer and they, they food and stuff. Yeah, I seen a lot. Maybe that's why Blue was so grown.
Why you say that, Josh?
What y'all say?
The link.
Okay.
What took so long? You said you mean Corey Holcomb?
Oh, I like Corey Holcomb too. And he be telling he give his opinion, but I like it. I think that's, I can like
Corey, he be pissing me off now. I don't even watch this show no more. He always talking about somebody gay or something all day. Yeah. I be like, okay, the first time is all right. Then every show, like, God damn. Every show, this is a show about, I forgot the word he be saying. He be saying something. But yeah, it's just like all his just hating on everybody, saying like now. It was like first it was like, all right, he bad. Now it's like you just hate everybody. Go out there and do something, my nigga.
Who hate everybody? Corey Holcomb or Josh? Josh, you hate everybody too?
No, I don't know about Josh. I'm talking about Corey.
Right. Yeah, he just going in Carson. Wasn't he just in Carson?
Yeah, he always saying backdoortons and all that shit. They backdoortons or some shit.
Yeah.
Backdoortons.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah, he's saying like different ones is doing all these movies and everything and all. Had to been over.
Yeah, he called Mr. Gaiman. I think he did that
on what's the name?
Yeah, but he was going on Godfrey. They got into it. Him and Godfrey going back and forth because he
got into it with Rollins.
Donnell Rollins.
Donnell Rollins.
Yeah.
I guess there's a little spice to make everything nice, huh?
Call him a mediocre comedian or something. Like, you mediocre, like you all right.
Yeah, I went. He was the headliner of the show.
On Mike Epps.
Yeah, on the Mike Epps show, and I say probably like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He did a abortion joke, and people just got up and started leaving.
Wrong crowd, shawty.
Yeah.
Too many women that had abortions.
Yeah, he said something about I know a lot of you people don't like me and I don't care. That is this. He said a lot of you, all stuck up and all thinking you all gonna go to heaven, but when you get to heaven, you're gonna have a grown man smoking a cigarette, talking about you think you're gonna hear what you did after what you did to me? And they got up and started leaving.
Wow.
He said what? I'm sorry, I missed it. What did you say?
Said, a lot of you all think that you're gonna go to heaven, but when you get up to heaven, you're gonna be stopped by a grown-ass man smoking a cigarette talking about, oh, you think you're going to get in here after what you did to me? Talking about them. The grown man is the baby that they aborted. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people got
See, I got a different type of humor, so y'all, I don't know. It might not have been funny to y'all, but I feel like I understand that.
Nah, I heard it before. He got some funny dark jokes. I just watch his show, and his show used to be good, but now his show just about he just saying everybody gay. Just like, oh, that nigga gay. Yeah, he gay. I know how he gay because
why that bother?
Why you care about niggas' butt so much? Like all he care about is.
Oh, he always do that. You saying like he always stick to certain jokes or something?
He just do it now. Nah, I don't even be jokes. He be serious. He be like, these niggas taking dick. I already know. That's why he over there. That's why they don't keep me around because like, all right. And then another nigga, he backdoorton. He did. It's just every day. It's just about a nigga.
I know niggas like that always want to talk some shit.
Why you want to keep talking about it?
Somebody else's butthole or
something else.
Dick
or something. I just laughed at it. It was funny. It's funny.
It ain't even like he's saying jokes though. He's serious. He in his feelings.
Get mad.
Yeah, he coming up with stories with Godfrey. Godfrey got to explain himself. He like, Godfrey, you was living with a gay dude. He was your roommate. Godfrey, I never told you that. He's like, yes, you did, the gay dude. And then Godfrey said, no. I said I had went to meet a girl and she had a roommate and I brought my buddy with me. And he said, then when we doing our thing, I'm with my girl, he with the other girl. They got into it. He busts out the room. We like, what's going on? Why y'all arguing? And he said, see, that's why I suck dick. He's like, what? And Godfrey said, that's how I found out he was gay. And he was like, right then and there. I didn't know he was gay before then, but I still remain friends with him. But he's like, we never lived with each other. So people laughing like, all right. And Corey's like, yeah, you right. I got it wrong. But it was like the whole week you was saying the wrong shit, though. You was putting that out there.
Oh, yeah, you was messing with his name.
But it's like, why you care so much? That's the part that he get me. He talk about it too much.
It be like that. It be like that out in the world.
He was talking about shortcuts. He was talking about shortcuts. He said a lot of. He was talking about different ones. Kevin Hart and everything. Took shortcuts to get to where they at or whatever. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, like that's why they get in movies. I'm like, nigga, you was in the movie with him. What did you do? So all the movies you was in, what did you do? I see you wasn't in no movies. You in the movie with Kevin Hart, the joint with the grooms and all that. You one of the groomsmen. So I'm like, what did you do? You around some of these people. It's like they're not fucking with him no more. And it probably is because of that. He probably wasn't with some of the shit they was with. But it's like, man, he got to find another way to do it.
Yeah.
This another clip. That's why I be saying that I think all them people work together. And I think I probably was living back in these times with Ali and them, but they was living different. I don't know. It seemed like it was different times back then. People was together. The athletes was really for the people.
Like people you want to aspire to be.
Like,
That's why he's my favorite boxer. Me and my aunt was talking about that. And my aunt Ann that y'all met, he's her favorite athlete too. Because he said what he said, he didn't back down, and he stood on principle, and he was a good humanitarian.
Yeah. I mean, he was good at it, at his craft, but I like him as a person. Yeah, I like him as the person. I know a lot of people remember him for boxing, but most of the videos I like to see him is outside of the ring. The things that he stood for, going to jail.
Talking, he down on.
Yeah, he really did it.
Them interviews are crazy. Let's watch the joint. Let's see what they talking about.
Daddy got free things to be better when he got grown. Now my daddy's grown. Somebody told my daddy that when I got grown, things would be better. Now I'm grown. Now I have the white boy today telling me that when my children get grown, things will be better. So they'll see that this is just the old trick. Black people, you notice, didn't vote for no president's holiday this year because every 4 years it's a new trick, a new phony fake image, and they have given up today. They want to do it themselves. They want to go for self. They want to pool together and unite like the Jews did. At one time, Jews and dogs wasn't allowed on Miami Beach, and the Jews got mad and united and bought Miami Beach. So this is what they want.
Play that again from the beginning. That's a good interview to go back and watch.
Daddy got free, things will be better when he got grown. Now my daddy's grown. Somebody told my daddy that when I got grown, things will be better. Now I'm grown. Now I have the white boy today telling me that when my children get grown, things will be better. So they'll see that this is just the old trick. Black people, you notice, didn't vote for no president's holiday this year because every 4 years it's a new trick, a new phony fake image, and they have given up today. They want to do it themselves. They want to go for self. They want to pool together and unite like the Jews did. At one time, Jews and dogs wasn't allowed on Miami Beach, and the Jews got mad and united and bought Miami Beach. So this is what they
say. And that is true. That is true. We need to get together and make some stuff happen together as a group. That way, you know.
What he said though, he said every 4 years it's the same thing. At that time, he said no black people went out and vote. So when I be going on here saying I don't think we should vote, I'm not tripping. Ali and them did not go out there and vote. Black people at that time said we not voting no more because every 4 years it ain't no change. He said when he was growing up, his father told him that his father told him when he get older, things will be better. And then things ain't get better. And then his father told him, well, when you get grown, things will be better. He grown, things ain't get better. And now the white boy telling him, well, when his kids get older, things will be better, things will get better. What up, Trey?
I got a question. Like when did and this is because I didn't live in that time. When did like black people feel like their input was valid? I know probably when they were allowed to vote. And then second behind that when women were allowed to vote. But why would you think that? I don't know. I don't want to try to tell nobody how to think, but I'm wondering why people would think that the same people that stopped you from doing this for so long, being included or being a citizen or being something, other than cattle. I'm just trying to figure out where in the timeline did you think, oh, we can speak now. And that was what, because whenever I see change for us, I see it happen through us, for us, by us, FUBU, like type shit. So I'm wondering when did black people think that they're like, that they actually had input in any of this? Because if they're closer to that timeline to see all that chaotic stuff that I haven't seen in my present day, that would be more of a incline, I would think, to go your own route. And I've seen in history how, different groups in society have tried to go their own route as far as people of color, but I don't understand when people thought that all of a sudden their input was valid.
When you had Martin Luther King, he was saying the opposite. So they was divided. They divided the people. You got some people want to fight back. You got some people want to turn the other cheek. So that was hurting us. Then when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X decided to come together and speak on things, that's when they got assassinated. So that's all it is. But it's just like, even having all this data, we still go out there and vote. And I was just sharing that clip with Ali to show people they wasn't voting back then. Back then, they was trying to rally up together and bat things on their own, like the Jews did to Miami Beach. Miami Beach didn't allow Jews on the beach or dogs. So the Jews came together and bought Miami Beach. And now they could determine who they want allowed on the beach. And that's all he was saying. We can come together and buy some things and own of our own. At that time, yeah, it might wasn't possible for them, but they was trying. They was willing to fight the door. Now we got millionaires out here. Tyler Perry buying all these studios in Atlanta and all type of weird shit. But we got money out here. We got millionaires out here now that can actually do the things that Ali was talking about. But now everybody.
Why do you think we can't? Why do you think that people generally can't seem to see it that way? More so like it's a dependence. on the people really that people claim that's the enemy. So where do you think that dependence comes from, where people can't even see, the majority of people can't even see a different way of life, like not worrying about voting and going into worrying about the system and what the system is going to do when it wasn't for us? Why do you think that there's an attachment there still, Molly?
Programming. It's like when you go to school, you voting for who gonna be like the school president and all that shit. Like so they program you already to vote, to start running for certain things. And most time the kids that does that, they get into politics. Like that's what Trayon White in our school when we was younger. He did those type things. So we weren't shocked that he got into politics when he got older. So that's all they doing is programming people to. And then when you hear this from other generations, look, things gonna get better, or things better for y'all. See, we weren't able to vote. See, y'all can go out here and vote and make things change. So they believe the shit. So it's programming when it's coming from your elders and the people around you. And that's what Ali was saying, that they constantly kept passing this down. Things gonna get better when your grandkid and this person get there, and things gonna get better but they don't get better. And every 4 years they got a new president that they're saying they're gonna do better by our people, but it never happened. And this was in the 60s.
I've been watching that my whole life.
So what's your thoughts on it, Reed?
Well, my thoughts on it is this: things don't get better; it become different. It's like, so the old smoke and mirror trick don't work, so let's do smoke and mirror with a slip knot. Let's do smoke. Each generation they add something different. They change how it looks, so you think that it's progressively getting better, or you think things are changing, but it's really not. It's just looking different. And a lot of people get fooled by different. And then a lot of, this is my beliefs only, okay? And a lot of superstars, the people with money, forget where they come from, or try to leave a lifestyle of poverty behind them. Just like you don't see a lot of celebrities that's from DC. They get their money and they move out to LA, California. I want to be with all them other niggas, instead of them coming back and help building up their community where they grew from, where they thrived from, where they came from. They would rather leave all of that behind and forget about that, leaving their community on their own. When I get the bag, I've already said it and seen it in my head what I'm not going to speak on it, but what I'm going to do, how to help my community and give back. I'm not going to run to LA. I'm not going to run where it's easy. I'm not going to leave, where I call home or where I grew up. I'm going to go back and beautify it, go back and make that area better.
You mind if I say something in response to that, Reese?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So in terms of like, that's not gonna be everybody's thing that they want to study, but I think understanding the entertainment industry and stuff will fill in a lot of gaps for you, because a lot of these people I've learned over the years aren't free. They're rich. There's money in their account. They have all the cars, whatever, but they're not free. And just like I would have to clock into a job, they got to clock into a job. Just like I got a boss, they got a boss just the same. So me not having as much as them doesn't mean anything, because they have they have handlers, they have managers, they have people that keep them at bay. And when I realized what the money aspect is, yeah, some people are allowed to do certain things, but if you're somebody who's supposed to be, somebody that's pushing destructive music, for instance, usually they're not going to allow you to be out there, doing no big foundations. You might have to even use people to be the face of, movements you're trying to make, because they're not allowed to be the face of stuff. So I'm not in defense of celebrities or nothing like that, but I realized to stop looking at them, because they're not, just like the politicians, the celebrities and stuff aren't anybody to idolize either, because a lot of them don't have power over the things that they do and say and allowed to do and allowed to say. So that was just my response to like the celebrity part. Like, there's some of them that's like a little influential, but they all in the same parties, they all in the same mansions doing whatever. That's one whole, that's a whole nother world. They ain't worry about none of this little small stuff, because they got a whole nother world of troubles and problems and all of that with their lifestyle. But I realized to stop like looking at them, because They don't be in control.
Yeah, just like you said, they're not free. I mean, that's just like that's like back in the day, you know what I mean, like the gladiators and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They was, given gifts and different things like that, wherever like that. No, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean, like you said, they weren't free. Like to other slaves, wherever, no, you know what I mean, they probably thought because, you know what I mean, they got the better food, they got the women or guys, or you know what I mean, or whatever like that. No, but at the end of the day, they had to entertain. So
they don't want you getting all into politics. They don't want you speaking up on, so it's just like I said, the more I learned, the more I realized I didn't know.
Right.
Type shit. So I just will want people, I said all that to say that I will hope people will kind of turn their eyes a little bit away from celebrities. I hear a lot of conversations about, oh, this person got $50 million. You don't know that. Why? Because Forbes said it, or because their net worth is posted online? You think these motherfuckers be broke too? Number one.
I was just about to say that. A lot of, you know what I mean, like you said, you know what I mean, we sit there and see people in the movies and stuff like that and be like, oh, they got bank or whatever. And like you said, you know what I mean, like looking at Forbes or whatever like that, but like in a year or two, you see that they're homeless or see that, you know what I mean,
like the lady in her car that's in she was in Vogue, I think. Sleeping in her car. Like, type shit. You would think In Vogue, because everybody know In Vogue, even if you listen to their music or not, you're gonna think residual of some sort. Even if you be comfortable, at least you ain't gonna be in your car. You might not be in no big ass mansion, but In Vogue, I tie that to somebody should always have some type of residual something where they're good and not in their car. But a lot of them motherfuckers be perpetrating a lot of money in them videos and all that type of shit. They got to give that shit back to the bank, every dollar. Yeah. That shit. So a lot of this shit is fake. A lot of this imagery shit, entertainment too, like TV, the news, a lot of that shit be fake. I just want people to pull their minds a little bit from the TV and start talking to each other a little bit more.
Even down to these athletes and everything, like, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, after you seen a lot after retired or you know what I mean, out the leagues or whatever and all, you know what I mean, they robbing banks and selling drugs and different things like that. You know what I mean, like.
Josh says you don't have to have money. Try running for office and see if I can see if you can change, if you can make change anyway or something like that.
And that's what weird with Trump. He got money, so it's like most people get in office to try to make money, and try to get rich, and you can bribe them. You can't bribe a motherfucker who already rich. That's a billionaire. So it's like he in there doing probably what he want to do. I don't know, but I still with Ali and them. I came on here before and I said all the time every year, like, don't vote. And I used to get heckled all the time, but now I found this Ali joint. I'm just like, I wonder how people feel about Ali and them not voting back then. The black people not voting around the holiday because they said the same thing keep happening every 4 years and they never see change. And that was in the 60s. This 60 years later, and I'm saying the same shit. I'm like, how's that possible? Because people wasn't listening to him back then, not enough. And now I'm talking, people don't listen to me. They say, oh, well, you don't vote. You ain't got nothing to say then. I don't want to hear nothing if something happened. And then like, no.
That's where the conversation goes left.
That none of us should vote. I ain't saying just blacks, all us citizens, like, fuck that until they do things that we actually want them to do. It's more of us than them. And I think that's what's happening in South Africa. I know they pushing it like, oh, they killing the white farmers, which they are. They've been doing it for a long time. Now it's starting to get out there. But them people want their land back that they don't own. And they like, fuck that. We don't care no more. Like, they really don't care. They just like mobbed up and just like, we gonna force them out. So now these people's running back to America because a lot of them came from here or they got family here. But these people in South Africa, like, you can go wherever you want to go. They telling their government the same thing. We kicking them all out. We want our land back. We want all this shit back. And they fighting for it. So it's like, hey, we can do the same thing if we want to. But that's what it's going to take. Nobody getting nothing without bloodshed. It's impossible. That's how they got this land. somebody shed blood.
Somebody dying for this.
I said, man, they got us though. They give us a little bit of this and that. We satisfied. So, you know.
You falling asleep, Bree?
Nah, she reads some. I stay through her glasses.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. If you don't have money, can you go in office and make change? I done seen people try, you know, and they can make small changes within their community. I think if we do that enough around the board, that might can help somewhat. But I think if they want change, they make change, you know. Like I don't think we can change anything by voting and getting into their game, you know, because at the end of the day, they can get you out of there. They can just make a story up and say you did something, and now the people is against you. The same people that voted you in, and like we get him in there, we gonna be good. And now they put a story out that ain't even true because they own the media, and y'all will believe it. And now y'all like, that's why I see you can't get anybody in there. We got to get the right person. Y'all will never have the right person in there. They will give you the right person. That's why I don't be into all these Farrakhan's and all. I'm like, I hear what they saying, but they got control oppositions too. They got people that say things that we want to hear. So when they do go south, them same people can come out and say, calm down, y'all. This is what we going to do. No, brothers, this is how we do things. Listen, y'all. And we listen because we feel like they always been telling us the truth. They've been fighting against the same people they actually working with. I'm like, how is it that y'all talking about the government and how they the devil and all that, but y'all accepting funds from the government and traveling on their dime and getting paid off that? It don't make sense. So I'm like, oh, it's a game. It's a game, y'all. Man, the churches, all of them together. It ain't nobody who ain't together. Like the black churches, white churches, all of them together.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of them government funded, so they're not about to speak up on nothing either. I ain't really seen the churches in the midst of all this shit going on, popping off. I ain't really seen nobody church do no mass.
Because the way they keep their government funding is if they agree, and Kenny knows this 501, 403B, you got to agree to stay out of certain things. So they say, oh yeah, the government's going to help. They're going to give you this and this and that, but you can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. You can't get involved in this, and you can't get involved.
Apparently, you can't help your congregation either, because from all these articles and reports that I be seeing online, motherfuckers be trying to get mother buried that been at the church and got married there and raised a whole family in that church. So it seems like we can't help our people. That must be in the clause too, and because everybody I know got a big ass church.
The first thing they ask you, are you up on your tithes? That's the first thing that actually, I'm like,
and can you get the fuck out of my face?
Are you up,
sir? Go back up to the front.
If you go to the church asking for help, that's the first thing.
Are you up on your tithes? I'm not paying insurance.
It's a sin.
I'm at church.
It's a sin even ask for money.
They don't even know that tithes don't mean money. Tithes is 10%. I'm up with donating my time and everything. I'm up on that. But they don't want to hear about that. They want to know, are you up on your dollars? Are you giving your... And I was like, no, they didn't. Then they have you filling out applications and forms and stuff. I'm like, okay, I get that. But
applications and forms, go ahead. Show you that they are a corporation.
Business.
Got a fax machine, copy machine, and all that shit. Hole puncher.
Yep.
It's just, I'm just like, I respect the hustle. I just don't like fact that certain people gullible like that, and then you see why though. You be like, damn, they get you when you're young. So as you get older and they win you off of Santa Claus, they got to give you something else, So it's like, who else birthday the same day as Christmas? It's Jesus. So it's like, okay, you go from Santa to Jesus. So now you believe in him. All about him is going to church. So it's like they don't tell you can learn about Jesus outside the church. They don't tell you churches when two or more gather in his name. It's not a building, And I had to learn that young. When we used to be young, we cussed by the church. They'd be like, oh, sorry, God. We apologize all the time. And the crackhead said, fuck you apologizing for. We say, man, you cussing. We right here by the church. Said, it's a fucking building. I just pissed on it. Like, what? He likes the building, and he the one that taught us that. He was like, man, the churches went two or more gathered in Jesus' name. You know, a building don't make church. Y'all make the church.
The reason why I need help is because I gave my money to you.
Yeah, church. I was like, damn. And I found out it was true. Even the pastor was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, damn.
Church are the people. We are the temples. It's
Yeah.
us. We are the temple. When you know how they say your body is a temple, that's what they mean. You are the temple. You it's you.
I mean, y'all gotta be aware of everything y'all do to y'all temples, cause
that's true.
Uh-huh.
I just be like, if people can't give, you know, just forget it. Like, if I wouldn't mind somebody at the church and they take the plate around and you give. It shouldn't be no mandatory tithes and all that. You're a certain member. Then depending on what type of member you is, the more you pay, all that's a certain percentage. They got to know how much you make on the job so they know what to take out and how much you should pay. I'm like, man, so imagine the mega churches when they got millionaires that come in. That's $100,000 a year from all of them each. No wonder they got these mega churches riding around in Benzes and living in mansions and stuff. They got 100,000 people in the church that make that bag. So it's like, it's a hustle. I get it. They making money. They still deliver the word. You know, that's all people want, somebody to read something that they can read and decipher it for them because they don't know what it means. That's why the Bible is written like that. Thou, this, and this, and this. So people be like, damn, you know, they get a little bit of it, but the pastor can come around and tell you exactly what it means. So they paying for that. It's like we got AI now. You can ask AI to put that thing in every language there is. You can ask them to dumb it down. You know, I used to read the kids' Bible when I was young, so I can actually understand it, you know. And I was reading that all the way to my 20s. And I go to the other book like, oh, this is what they were saying. Like, why didn't you just say that, you know?
And another thing, I don't know if y'all are aware of the church, like an instance came up, right? And this lady and her husband is a couple, man and woman. The woman goes to church every day and pay tithes, and her husband is the breadwinner. The woman is a homemaker, right? And this is a true story. And the husband is paying into the church, you know, giving the woman the money to pay for the tithes. But don't you know they saying that when the woman passed, she can have her funeral at the church. But when the husband passed, they try to say he couldn't because he wasn't a member of the church. But it was his money that paid the tithes.
They don't know that. They don't care. They like, she's a member, he's not. That's obvious right there.
Put it like this: he's a member, but he stopped going. You know how they cut. You know, he just
even like, worse.
Even worse.
Have somebody else bury him.
That's no difference. Like, yeah, but I was paying car insurance for 2 years before I cut y'all off. Well, you cut us off. You need to go figure somebody else to pay for that. Them damages.
No, my cousin went up.
People say
and was like, "Oh yeah," and she just let it go.
We're disciples of the church. Remember, as we just
they had to think about that thing, and they was like, "Okay, yeah, he welcome.
To make more
disciples. He is on the docket as a member because they didn't take him off.
What's up, Joey?
Docket. So yeah, he's still a member.
Yeah, boy, Joey and Lee.
We had to fight to get that though.
You talking about the missionaries? Joey Lee talking the missionaries. You supposed to go out here and recruit. I be saying they Jehovah's Witness out here though. They be out here banging on the doors. Reese opening for them.
Nah.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna talk to you from my phone. Fuck you talking about? It's 2025. Hello, how you doing?
hey, Jehovah's Witness out there. Only person my mother.
I'm not home right now. I'm at the store, so could you? Yeah, fuck that.
You do a ring cam. No different than the Mormons and all of that.
Get away from my door.
You know.
Get away.
Yeah, they go hard.
They used to be on a bike. I ain't seen them in years. They came riding through Carriage Hill, the house, the Latter-day Saints. They was on their bikes. And
they got commercials on YouTube now. They hitting people digitally.
Yeah, you be seeing
y'all be seeing them joints.
Hi,
my name is Sarah Ann from the Church of Sodom, and we're from the Church of Latter-day Saints, and we're I don't mind. I don't disrespect nobody doing it. I just try not to catch you. Like I try not to get caught up where I can't walk away before you get to me because I don't really, you know. But if you around and walk up, people be walking up to that part that you commented on my story. That's the part that we all be chilling at. Sometimes they come up there or get out of a van and talk to everybody. If I'm sitting there, shit, I don't mind like talking to them. You're not getting me into anything, but I don't mind having a conversation with you. But be open to my questions too.
Yeah.
That be the part. That be the part. Be ready for my questions because you coming to me with knowledge. All right, cool. We in class then. So let me ask you what I want to ask you.
Yeah. I just be messing with people. Like, was Jesus a Christian? What was he? They be like, no, he actually wasn't religion. Like, oh, he wasn't part of no religion. That's weird. So everybody part of religion following a person that wasn't part of any of these religions. You know, so it's
from the Church of Latter-day Saints, we're here, Mr. McFarland.
It's got it.
Come up and blow your ass down with the word.
But this is why you talk. I try to understand people's perspective, and they're entitled to their opinion and on where they're coming from. I'm like, well, why do you think this? And why do you think that, you know, that's me.
But I'm like asking about first grade, you know, like how was elementary school? Like, yeah, it might be a little different for them, but we already went through there. And that's how it is when I talk to Christians. Like, I done been a Christian. I done read that thing inside out. I done studied it. Everything about it, you know, so I done moved on to other things and started learning other religions and stuff like that just to understand where they coming from. But when you talk to a Christian, they trying to recruit you, and then they assume that you don't know anything about their religion. That's why you're so blind. Like, no, I've been in first grade already. I've been through elementary. You know, I just graduated and I've done moved on. But you trying to pull me in and assuming that I don't know anything about it. I was like, nah, I know a lot about it. It didn't give me enough of the answers that I was looking for. And people that was Christian was telling me to read other books that led me to other things and other books that ain't even religion. But King James, the person, I just be asking people, do they even look him up? Because the first thing I said, you got your King James Bible? Do you know who King James is?
As a person?
Yeah.
And that's where the conversation go left.
Yeah, if y'all don't like Hitler, then y'all really won't like King James. So why are we reading any version, any book he got? And then he also wrote a devil worship book. The same time, it's just the opposite of the King James version. So he got 3 different books. He got another book just on spells and witchcraft. So it's just like, and he didn't write a lot of these things. He was stealing it from other people and then taking credit for it. He didn't care. He just was like, I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna control everything out here on both sides. So you reading to be evil and do evil things, I own that. You reading to do this and do good things, I own that. But at the same time, I twist it the way I want to twist it. You know, so it's just like, just read up on the person on the off the most time before you just take the book, you know, because I know a lot of people won't grab a book and the author say Hitler on it. They be like, oh, what you reading? Oh, this one of Hitler Bibles, the Hitler Bible. You'd be like, oh, what the hell?
This book right here.
Hitler Bible. That's what King James is. He's Hitler. He's a pedophile. He done did. I ain't even gonna go because the list so long. Just go look up King James. Just go look him up. I was like, that shit is weird. I always wonder when you pass away, how do you look in heaven? Do you look like when you die? Or
if you have a fucked up life, you still that fucked up person in heaven, or do you just as a wipe away and what you could have been is what you are?
Yeah, depending on the description. If you believe like heaven as they do on TV, like you died and you go there and we walk around like this, we just don't feel no pain and stuff. Yeah, I think you probably. I think like, let's say if your mom, like my mother passed. When I see her, I will see her at the age that I remember seeing her, and she will only see me at the age when I left her. Like she'll still see me at 33, even if I died at 85.
Yeah.
But I would still think and see me as the last, age that I was. That's what I think, I think she'll see her mother as the last way she's seen it, and her mother seen her younger than she was when she passed, if that's the case. But I think energy just transfer. I think you right back out here. That's why they try to say, don't go to the lights, because that's the hospital. It's right back out here. Damn, what up, Joey Lee? We must be on a good topic for Joey.
He's talking
You
about
go to
religion.
all black church.
And
Oh,
he wrote a
man.
book on religion and relationship and
Different people
everything.
are
So
friendly.
that's his
Real
thing.
limited testimony is how people been saved. Generally, week after week, there are people coming up to receive Christ. We baptized them during the service right then. Oh, they baptizing people and everything. He had an all black church, so I believe in the Holy Spirit is working. I know no church is perfect. You rapping, but this is
Who's at the all black church? Joey Lee?
Yeah, and just Brother Joe, not white. Brother Joe, not Joe, for Dublin on the rich area town. Several people come to the comedy show. They come out and support him at the comedy show. The church is a real good community. Like I still film at a few churches here in my area. You know, people I grew up with and stuff. They members of the church. So, you know, it ain't like it's all bad in church. It's just that most people don't understand that they are the church, you know, so they feel like, oh, if I don't make it to church, then
if I don't get in this building,
yeah,
then I'm not doing right. This is what I don't like about
then they make it gangs, you know. I know churches that beef with other churches, and it ain't like they fighting and shooting each other, but they don't like that church. They be stealing each other members, you know. It'd be weird, you know. It's like churches that should work together. It's like, why y'all don't just come together and throw something big for the community, you know, or for the whole ward? But they do stuff individually to try to outdo each other.
Is it the church that's bad, or is it the leaders that's leading these people? Like
it's what those leaders know the power of. It's how those leaders utilize that power and how they don't do right with it.
Yeah,
because they know the control. They understand they're the ones that the leaders are the ones who are in the meetings with the government about their funding and what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, what they must stand by, blah, 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 in order to keep getting that funding. That's that. That's what that is. Knowing what you're doing and making money, turning it into a business. Instead of putting your churches together, you're trying to steal each other's members, for example, like Molly just said. That's not the right mindset for anybody who's supposed to be a connection to the highest.
Right, because a businessman ain't got no business with God. Remember, the rich man, poor man, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than the rich man to get in heaven. A lot of these pastors are so-called businessmen. Just about all of them, they go into the business of religion. Now, again, are they doing it to work a job to get rich? I had a pastor say that he want us to give him, he want to be $1 million a year pastor. I'm like, how is that even possible when your congregation is poor? But you want them to muster up collectively to give you $1 million. I never understood that. And me and my son,
because people will rally up, do bake sales, start selling dinners. You'll have people that are deep into the church that will gladly.
Didn't nobody say not to love your pastor, but
I'm saying they would do anything for him. He
won't do anything for him because of the
get it.
Shit, the pat used to back in the day, y'all used to have dinner and shit ready for the pastor when he came over your house to make sure that he was well fed. He would eat. I think would eat first, and the etiquette was for him to get what he wanted before the family ate, and all of that. Yeah, it was a deep. Come on now, it was a deep game in the church, like, you know.
They did do that and make the kids eat later. That's why when growing up, my grandfather was the opposite. He was like, the children eat first. Pass to your stomach rally, you can wait after these children get fed. Then the adults eat, you know, because my grandfather said when he was a little boy that they made the kids eat last.
Josh said
ate first.
Josh said, I believe in reincarnation and believe in heaven. And believe heaven is a holding place for your spirit until you come back to earth as whatever. Close the doors. Like Close the doors, Marvin Sapp.
Marvin Sapp.
I need to raise $40,000 right now.
Nice.
Close the doors until we get it. Wow, big business.
Big dog styles, man. That was bully game right there. I mean, them people had to be
But
judged.
it got popularized later, though. That's what I don't like about that video in general, because nobody, I don't know what about it made it viral, but the video was old. And
they always resurface them.
Yeah, it wasn't like current, like it happened last year or this year. It was like a couple years back, and it resurfaced.
Other pastors took a note out of his book and told their congregation Now I've seen pastors, they kept passing the plate, but we are $800 away. Pass the plate again. Everybody had to go dig deeper before they were in service. And that's true. They didn't say close the door, but they did say send that plate around again because we need a certain amount.
Yeah, but I look at it like
That's
a role.
The congregation hostage. He was like, you didn't give what you could give. I know. Go and pass that plate around again. We need this. We need that. But what if the church gave all they could give? What? So, Pastor, do like Jesus did. Take that 8,000, pray over it, and feed the multitudes. We'll turn out of 2 loaves of bread. He made a lot. Take that bread that they.
You don't know what he made.
I made a lot.
He made a lot.
From water and wine.
The multitude. Take that bread.
Even that's cannibalism. You know, a lot of people don't know that. Like when they bring the bread and the wine, that represent the body of Jesus and the blood. Yeah. So outside of Jesus, who else would you eat and drink blood of? But just because it's Jesus, they think like, no, that's cannibalism. You eating flesh, drinking blood, and they making it like a thing. You know, you want to drink the blood of Christ and eat.
They
like what? Like no.
I was disobedient. I was going against God. I used to ask all these questions.
It never made sense to me. Like that.
He wasn't allowed to try to make sense.
He didn't eat himself. He said, "Take this bread, eat of it." It's symbolization. He don't mean
symbolism.
He don't mean take me and eat me. He was the one.
It says you're drinking the blood of. Whenever I used to have communion, in my time communion wasn't wine; it'd be grape juice. But how somebody say something verbatim, but then when you ask a question about it, then it's no, it doesn't mean that though. But
you gotta understand what they were writing.
Nah, When people say, I'm talking about what?
I said, if it's at the Last Supper, he said, let's go back and read the words. He said, take this. This is, and it says what it symbolizes.
When they say when you are bathing yourself in the blood of Jesus.
Yeah, he said
when you are drinking his blood, which is the wine, is symbolism of the blood of him. Blood. When you're taking upon the flesh of Jesus, that's
what the bread is.
Consuming him, right? That's what Molly said. That's what the reference is his body, him, consuming him, putting his spirit pretty much into the food and consuming him as if it were him and his physical.
Right.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. It sounds insane to
put
me.
It that way.
No different.
I know they got a definition.
That's what we represent. We are the church. And in the building and not the church. Or we the temples. No crazier than that. It's what it meaning and what does the representation of it mean. It don't mean cut some of them
off. They telling you in that one mean churches within. That's what they telling you. Look within. Jesus said that.
This is my body and this is my blood. The bread and the wine. Something it kind of went out. The transformed bread and wine are truly the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And are not merely symbols. When Christ said, "This is my body" in quotation, and "This is my blood" in quotation, the bread and wine has been subtainted. I don't know. I don't want to say that wrong, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna fuck that up. Though the bread and wine appear the same to our human faculties. They are actually the real body and blood of Jesus. So it's supposed to be him.
Nothing but the name Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was questioning. That's what I was asking about, because why are you supposed to be consuming him, bathing in blood and stuff like that? Is if anyone else said it, it would be witchcraft and stuff, but it's not.
I just found it weird. But I see why now people really think, he just no, that really is the body of Christ and his blood. So it's just like, I was like, hold up. Any other time I hear about people eating flesh and drinking blood, that'd be like some devilish shit. That shit they've been doing in Hollywood. So it's like, do we supposed to be doing rituals out here like drinking blood? Is drinking blood actually good? Eating human flesh. So it's like I never understood that part. So it always threw me off. I still don't do it to this day. I just be like, nah, I'm good. You know, I don't really say nothing in the church. Like, no, this is. I just like I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just try to politely like decline.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who that? Beast.
Good, everybody.
You done
What's up?
stole the car, man. You done stole the car. Who car you got?
Yeah, I'm working now. I'm working right now. I just wanted to jump on real quick to remind y'all tonight is the new season of the new episode for the Knox. Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's cool though.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I got a huge event tonight, so I won't be able to go live tonight until 9:00.
Oh.
Shit,
So I wanted to see if y'all still be available to hang out with me tonight, but I won't be able to do it till 9:00 tonight.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be up.
I'll be up.
You be up, Reese?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'll send
Nah.
Huh? Reese probably be asleep. She be sleeping anyway.
Come in at about 10:00. Hey,
No.
y'all.
But I'll send y'all invites. LA, I don't know if LA Josh Preston in the comments, so to just let me know. I'll send him an invite too. But anybody else want to join, just DM me. Send me a text message if you got my number, or put it in the morning Mac chat or whatever, and I'll reach out to y'all later on tonight. But like I said, I'll be working tonight. Hopefully I'll be home about 8:30 to have it set up and running by 9. But we are going to watch the episode tonight, even if no matter what. So it will happen.
That's a bet.
All right.
I'll definitely be around for that.
And David be at work. David.
Yeah.
David can't remember shit anyway, so you only got one time to screw me over. That's how I look at David. So anyway,
work at night. He be, you know, like he sleep right now. So I understand.
I'm not sleeping.
I don't.
I'm not sleep. He said, yeah.
He told me he was coming on my show. I reminded him all week, this, that, and the other, and then he just forgot me like I wasn't shit. So you know.
Oh, David.
So yeah. I'm still working on my forgiveness thing. That's something God hasn't taken from me yet, since y'all speaking about God. But anyway, all right. But I got to get back to work. I just wanted to let y'all know. You know, let y'all know about tonight, and I appreciate it. And I'm listening and watching. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Well, it's about time for us to wrap stuff up. Anyway, it's that time. It's that time. David Green.
Yes.
Anybody got anything they want to say or closing remarks? Anyone's. Won't you come?
To Reese's church.
If you're not the Church of the Poison Mind, if you're not sure if heaven or hell is going to be your home, just tune into the Mac Show, because we will discuss that sometime along the broad.
This is Reese's congregation that she's trying to get started. I just wanted to separate myself from this entity and let you know that I'm not trying to start a church.
I'm not trying to start a church, even though that 501b or that 413 discount thing, we could write everything off. We can get a car and write it off. We could do everything.
You online talking about the plans. Look at you trying to fuck something up.
It's basically what I just said. Forget what I just said.
Yeah, I'm starting the first comedy church.
Yep.
You know, so it's just like we're going to talk about good things, but at the same time, we're going to have light of it, man. We're going to make jokes, have fun, but at the same time, we're going to read the word.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy church coming near you soon. We praising Richard.
I would like that.
Bernie Mac. We're going to give praise to all the old comedians who passed away. They got Beyonce got a church. If they can praise Beyonce, we can praise comedy. You know, like, come on.
That part.
Beyonce got a church? For real? Is that a church or is that a cult? It's a cult. David says it's a cult. Okay.
It's a cult. For God so loved the world.
Called the Comedy Bible. I for comedians. David, ain't you heard of it? They said the Comedy Bible. This lady wrote a book about all the do's and don'ts in comedies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
no, I mean everybody, you gotta
Say,
read the
yeah.
Bible. I'm like, no, I ain't reading that.
David
She
funny
famous
as
for writing
shit.
a comedy Bible. I mean, like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
So there's people, the comedians out there that say it's in the comedy Bible. They give you the Bible, the do's and don'ts, and all that good stuff. And the only thing I'm saying, if she's writing all of this and that, how come she isn't a big, well-known celebrity or comedy comedian? So that's I was just like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I always wanted that. I like that scripture though, John 3:16. I think everybody, that was like the first scripture I think they teach you, damn near.
Which is that?
John 3:16. So for God loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believe in him should not perish but have eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, who said that? Like, well, who was right? Like, who was right there? Like, who was right there to write that down when he said that? You know, it's like, who to verify this? You know, because every time you go to court, you need witness, you need proof, evidence, and you can never use church in court. And I was like, oh, because it's just theory, you know. So I was like, okay, but I always like that scripture, but you know that what makes people know that you got to believe in Jesus to actually get to God. That's the first thing they put on you, so you know you got to go through Christ to get to Him. I was like, who said that though? They like God said, like, but who he said to deliver and like who was there to like witness this? Because everything was written after all these people died. So it's like all of us died, and then 600 years later, people start writing about us. It's like, what? Like, you wasn't around beside me when I was doing these things to jot it down or to tell somebody, look, like none of that. So that always mind boggled me. I was like, how? Like, who verifying all this? You know? But you young, you gonna have questions when you're young. You have a bunch of questions. Like, nigga, talk to God. God talked to him too. Like, I used to wait for him to come holler at me. I just think I was special. Like, yeah, I know he's gonna be. I know I'm
every child do that. Wait for God to talk to you. Like Jesus, I tell you the story. When my grandfather said that
Joey
is God's son. I said Jesus is everybody's son. My grandfather said he's the son. So I was hanging out the car yelling, "Hey Jesus, Jesus!" I'm yelling at the son because that's what my grandfather said, that Jesus is the son. So
he is the son.
Yell, and I'm yelling at him. I'm like, "Granddad, he ain't talking back." He's like, "Get in this car." But you get yourself killed. I'm hanging out the window.
Really slow. I be forgetting you really wanted them.
Yeah.
I know I was really a child, a 5-year-old. And when you say that it's the son, I took it literally. And
you still take something literally. You still live literally.
Yeah, you know.
Disciples who was an eyewitness. See, that's the thing. John and Jesus is disciples who was an eyewitness who wrote the like. Nah, Jesus ain't write anything. John ain't write anything. People wrote about them. That's the thing, you know. So it's like, and then John and Jesus' name didn't even exist at them times. The letter J just knew. The letter J just came about.
500 years.
Well, it was called by different names. We'll stop calling somebody a different name. If my name is Jamal, which it is, but Jamal wouldn't existed back then because the letter J didn't exist. Don't give me a whole nother name. Don't call me David. If you scream for David, they're gonna look for Dave. You know, so it's like that's just still throwing me off. So even if you pray and you saying in Jesus' name, and Jesus' name didn't exist at that time, but we program who we calling on. Who is all it? They don't even know at the end when you say amen, they don't know who Armin is. That's a whole nother God. So who are we praying to? All these prayers and stuff that they got into, you got to look into it. You know, even the joint Alpha who I have, you got to look into it. See who wrote these things. See who Aleister Crowley is. How did they get to this description of the devil? Like why he red with horns. And then when you go look at all the descriptions of Moses and them, all of them got horns on their head. Why do they got horns? You know, so it's like
who wrote
look into
like that with horns on their head?
They all got them. I don't know. Whoever at that time was drawing people, but it's just like it was good. I think at the time it was good stories and it was popular back then because it was astronomy. You know, basically they turned the sun into a person, and they talking about how it go around the 12 zodiacs. That's why you got 12 disciples. So instead of saying about the 12 zodiacs, they gave them names. You know, instead of talking about the sun, they actually said S-O-N now, Jesus, the son. That's why he dies and all that, and that's why the 25th is his birthday. But according to the book, we know Jesus wasn't born around the wintertime. But Jesus was the one that we talk about. The sun was. It dies every winter solstice, and they come back to life on the 25th. That's why they celebrate the winter solstice. You know, so it's a lot of stuff they don't teach you in church, which they don't post to, that you can learn outside of church. They tell you don't study astronomy because then you'll start to learn all of these things that make sense. They started, you know, it's like puzzles. You're starting to get a bigger picture. You know, you start adding more pieces. So it's just like I get the book, but when you start to ask questions, it open your eyes up to it. That don't mean a lot of these things ain't happen. It's just that they not telling us the real times that it happened. You know, they not telling us the full story. These people real names, who we can really call on. Because every name have a vibration. It got energy behind it. So we calling on the wrong names, they okay with that. They will keep preaching that too. So we need to figure out the real names. And then when they people hear the other names, they say, well, that's part of another religion. No, that's just another language. So you see something in Chinese, that's another, no, it's just another language. Still mean men bathroom, women bathroom. But since it's in another language, oh, that's a whole nother religion. No, it's just written different. You know, but now you can understand a little more because they might left something out because they couldn't translate everything into English. It's some things they didn't even know how to translate. So it's like we look into those things when you really you tend to learn a little more. But
Joey Lee Church,
it's just fun though. You know, I always thought church was fun. I never really had bad experiences in the church. You know,
not at all.
Study. You know, always good people. Always looking to do good by people. You know, it's just the people when they leave the church, I don't know who they become, you know. So you hear about people outside of the church, what they do outside of the church. It's just like try to be that person when you're in the church and out the church. Don't become a character. And that's what it seemed like every Sunday, even the pastor, they put on a show to get paid. Then after that show is over, they go back to their regular self. It's no different than a performance. You know, like these people in movies and stuff, they not them people. But for this movie, I got to pretend and be this person. You know, and when it's over, I can go back to being me as long as I got paid. And that's what it seemed like it is with a lot of the leaders in the church. So the people that's coming as members, you just like, no, my pastor, this, that. You don't know him outside the church. You don't know a lot of
entertainers. They entertain. The pastors entertain.
Joey Lee Church, and we gonna worship John Elway. Hey, Denver, baby.
Yeah, but just like Molly was talking about, like the names and everything, was, you know, there's a whole bunch of, you know, I'm not gonna say controversy, contradicting, because okay, so you know, Bible says don't worship Baal, but the word Lord means Baal.
Yeah.
And that's, and you know, all you see like in the Bible, whatever, you know, Lord, 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 Lord. And not only that, but if you break down the word Jesus, that is that comes from Zeus. So you know, so you know, they say, So you know, they say don't worship other gods or whatever like that. No, but in the Bible, it has different other gods' names, whatever like that. No, and yeah, because I'll be telling my mom and everything all the time, whatever. No, you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, she real big in church and you know what I mean, missionary and all that mess and everything and all. And I'm like, so Mom, do you even know who you even praying to or whatever? And she was like, oh yeah, and like I tell her in different ones, whatever like that. No, you know what I mean? We're not doing our own researches or whatever like that. No, we're going by and quotations tradition. You know what I mean? Well, my grandma used to do this. My great this okay, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do your own research or whatever. You know what I mean? If you want knowledge, whatever, like like I was just talking to my daughter the other day. You know what I mean? If I sit there and say I'm against polyester or whatever like that, no, polyester is evil or whatever, and I brainwash and I have her that way when she have kids by 500 or 1,000 years, whatever. You know what I mean? We done started a religion about polyester. You know what I mean?
Right.
Programming. We say that word all the time. Programming.
Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah, but we got one for this up here because a lot of people don't look up other religions. They don't know stories that have been written thousands of years before Christ or whatever name you want to give them. Like Horus. Horus was born or written about 3,000 years before Christ. But if you look at their story, you'll see where Christ's story came from. And this is sun god. That's why you worship the sun. A lot of people used to worship the sun. But there's just 2 of them. It's 10 others, and it's probably more that's just as old as Horus or older. But you see, they both was born to a virgin. They just changed the name. Isis and Murray. Yeah, they.
Hey Molly, I'm going to send you something before we get off.
Oh man,
pretty much the same thing that you're showing, but a little more detail.
Okay.
All right.
But screenshot this if y'all can. Y'all see the same time, baptized at the same time. They had 12 disciples. Everything's basically the same. It's some things that, Horus did that they left out that Jesus didn't. And there's some things that we don't even know what Jesus did because they left a large gap out. And I think that large gap would have been the same things that they left out that Horus did. It'd have been too much similarities. That's why they took out a large gap.
They took them books out of the Bible. But
they had to because it was too much.
It was compared too closely.
Yeah, it'd have been too much similarities to other sun gods that came before him. So I think that's why. But just look it up. Just look up sun god similarities and look at where all of them was written, and just see which one the oldest. And then you'll see which one came from one. It's no different than you keep seeing them remaking all these movies. Another Karate Kid is coming out. But for some of these kids, they going to think this the first Karate Kid. They don't know. There's plenty of other Karate Kids that came out way before that. And that's the same thing I thought with Planet of the Apes. I was like, dang, this Planet, they like this jank. Then I see the older ones coming on. I'm like, what is this? Yeah. And whole time it's a remake. So Jesus was a remake of Horus. Horus was a remake of something else, and they just keep remaking it and changing the names and changing the religion. That's it.
So what they're doing is saying the same thing, but making it look different. Like I said, they take it and they make it look different. And then when you see, oh, that's different, but it's the same story. It just look different. And that's what we pass down. So when they say we're making a difference, that's what they're talking about. Yeah, you making a difference, all right. You're making it look different.
Yeah, because what I mean, like Molly was saying, what I mean, they got Horus, they got Mithra, they got was it Kitna,
each.
And all of them were born December 25th and everything else.
Yeah, when they talking about the sun.
Yep.
So with that being said, Wellness Wednesday is tomorrow. So get your heart, get your mind, all that wellness. Get your temples ready for tomorrow, Wellness Wednesday.
I got a book recommendation because I'm always reading something.
Let's see what Trey got. I'm gonna put it on the big screen so everybody can see it. World related. Great. Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. Damn, the pictures is crazy.
We studied that, and I had to study that in college. I got a book down there like that too, a big book.
Man, that's a nice book right there.
It was
reading is everything. Reading is everything.
Look, we all, man, I'm telling you, that's where everybody be trying to come to our country. They got us food, thinking everything started over there. We here. You go in the courtroom, they tell you, it shows it. All these building structures that we can't remake no more. The yin and yang. Oh yeah, you got that shit. They got that shit over there.
Yeah. So
this the red funny man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what talks about, you know what I mean, like I said, Horus, Mithra,
This blurry man.
That one came out a little blurry.
Got a different pantheons, whether the Vikings, the this, the that, everybody got it, different ones.
Mm-hmm.
My son loves that stuff. He loves to talk about history and astronomy and all the different gods and pantheons.
They got a section for y'all too.
Christianity. I like that book. Man, what job? We always open the question.
Here you go. Communion.
And just a lot of people that be willing to teach ain't willing to learn because they think they learned everything when they was not willing to study other things, you know. So I done talked to people 70, 80 years old, and I done taught them something that they didn't know nothing about their own book, you know. So it's like, I'm open to learn and open to hear, but you gotta be as well, you know. That's the only thing when it comes to a lot of people with certain beliefs, that they not open to hear what you gotta say. They just want you to hear what they gotta say, and I ain't trying to debate if anything real or not. I just like to talk about where a lot of these stories came from. You know, how things were switched up, you know. It's no different. We all want to know where we came from. You know, we all like to know who our parents is, you know, who they parents is. So it's just like, you know.
Hey, this is Reese's favorite joint. It's funny, I'm just flipping through.
The Holocaust.
The Holocaust. The Holocaust.
That's not my favorite thing.
Yeah, that was some hard time. Look up the real Martin Luther King and see what he was fighting against the church for. Why he was against King James. Yeah, that's why they changed Martin Luther King to his name. So when you look up Martin Luther, you won't find the real one.
There ain't no King in it, it's just Martin Luther. So people will look up Martin Luther King, look up Martin Luther. Like he took his name.
Yeah, people out here praising Michael Luther King. Look at the real Martin Luther King. They switched it. We out of here. Peace.